Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a Hey, let's watch this. Why? Because it's on edition of Monster Party.
Monster Party!
It's on! What can I watch?
What can you watch?
To choose from.
There's so many things that we're watching because we're not like regular people. We watch a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And they're always making new stuff. And so
there's a lot of genre stuff.
There's a lot of genre
targeted
stuff.
towards us.
Yes.
Yes.
And golden age.
And
Yes.
well, and speaking of golden age, sir, who are you, sir?
I like that. Yeah.
Should I say the platinum?
The platinum, right. There we go. Okay. I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Stroth.
And I am James Gonis.
And for this episode, I think you kind of get the drift. We are revisiting a prior topic that, it's not too fancy. It's not too complicated, but it's very important because it gives you a snapshot of where we are and what we're doing.
People have asked.
What do
People
you do?
have asked.
They have asked, and
what
here's
is
the
it?
topic. They have asked. Well, they haven't really asked it in this way, but this is what we're saying. So the grammar might be off, but
Yes.
the topic is what we're watching, Volume 2.
We're watching
two.
Volume 2.
Lots of stuff.
Oh, we did it in the past. We're doing it again. It was fun last time, but this time, I think we're going to hit a new high.
Yes, we are.
We've got a guest. We've got a cohort. We've got an old friend of mine.
He's watched a lot of stuff.
He watches a lot of stuff. He's turned me on to stuff. I've turned him off of stuff. That's just the way our relationship has gone over the years. I love this man. I really do. I met him years ago when we were both working on the CD-ROM. Yeah, you heard me. CD-ROM game. The Journeyman Project 2, Buried in Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're fans.
Yes,
They're
yeah,
fans.
I know. I was Arthur. I was the
Yes.
artificial intelligence Arthur.
Yep.
But our guest, oh my God, he's a successful game designer, writer, producer. He's worked on so many other great games like the Journeyman Project, Pegasus Prime, Journeyman Project 3, Legacy of Time, Star Trek Away Team, Star Trek Hidden Evil, The Simpsons game,
The Simpsons game.
and Gundam 0079, The War for Earth.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. Please welcome the man, the legend, Eric DALLAIRE.
Eric DALLAIRE.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh,
Now, be honest with me. Was Matt a pain in the ass to work with, or was he fun to work with? Be honest.
He's absolute joy. Hilarious.
Really?
We very hard to be productive. He kept us rolling all the time.
We did have a good time. We did. It helps when you like the people that you're working with. Like it's, when you walk into a room, you go, I think I can hang with this guy.
Right.
And I can say he's definitely, there's still a lot of fans of Journeyman Project. And,
Yes, we know. We know.
Yeah.
I'm very
also
proud of
listen-
that whole time.
It was great. And Arthur is still well loved by all the fans. So it's something I remember fondly back then.
And having your words come out of my mouth. Wow, man.
Did you? So you wrote the script, all the stuff for Matt to say?
Well, I wrote it, and then he took that, looked at it, rolled that into a better ball, and then rewrote it, and then it was magically better.
According to me.
I was the ugly steed that went into the ground, and a flower of comedy bloomed from this. And it was great. It was just, I'd write 3 pages, and then maybe one line would make it a mess. Like, oh, that's cute. Let me just take a riff on that, and it would be a different line. And it would be better. And it worked great.
Come on. It was more like...
every volleyball team needs a setter and a spiker.
It was Lennon and McCartney. Come on. It was, back and forth.
My forte was more writing interactive, dialogue. So do you guys remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So it's a lot like that. We were doing graphical Choose Your Own Adventure books. And
Cool.
You could you could play the game, you could die, and then your time suit would save you, and you go back and you'd store. I'm really proud of those games because we kind of researched a lot of history and got to fix time. It's a little like Time Cop, but a little more educational and historical. So there was this agency of, and you were part of it, and there'd be little time problems. You go back and fix them, and
Cool.
it was a great time. It was back in Mist those days. And
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God. Yeah, I mean,
it was
you-
Mist and us. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're talking the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite innovative,
Wow.
those games. I
Yeah.
felt
But,
that nice
But,
mixture of education and action and just good hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really think they hold up.
That's cool.
funny story, Matt, because you mentioned Gundam.
Uh-huh.
I got my job because I lived in Japan as a kid and watched anime, Kamen Rider, and Gundam.
Nice.
Oh.
And when Presto got the Gundam gig, I was only doing fun, like part-time work for them. I was going to be a neuroscientist. I was at UCSD. And they're like, we got this property from Bandai. We don't know what it is. It's supposed to be like the Star Wars of Japan. It's called Gundam. And I'm like, oh, I've got that toy and that toy. And I had all the die-cast original toys from 1970 from
Nice.
Frank's Toys in Okinawa. And I'm like, guys, this is the story. And he's like, we need to hire you. And so I quit my job as a scientist and became a game designer. I never looked back.
way.
That's true. That's
Wow.
true.
That's
I still have the
amazing.
toy. And the best part was Sunrise Studios sent their producers, the directors over. And at one point, we're all sitting around a table and we're grown men playing with these toys, acting out teens. Like, this is where Gundam is, this is the gun tank. And we're all moving toys around. They're awesome to work with. So that was my first game.
How old
Oh.
were you? Like how long did you live in Japan?
3 years. My dad was stationed at Kadima. He was in the Marines. So
Wow.
I mean, what years of your life?
I was 4, 5, and 6.
Oh,
Wow.
Did you get any Godzilla toys at that time, or
Yeah.
was it?
probably.
did.
I would assume, right?
Oh,
I
Oh.
did.
do you still have
there's a-
those?
I might. There's an old toy chest. That's a treasure chest in my parents' attic, and I gotta go look at that.
Oh,
Yes,
Eric,
you
you gotta
did.
get that
Yeah.
out of there, man.
Yeah.
Before mom and dad go,
go.
what is this shit? Oh, let's get to the kids down the street. Or
No. I call dibs.
no, you call
No, I-
dibs.
I
Hey,
was
we're
really
meeting, we're
traumatized.
talking. He's getting to know me. He knows I like Godzilla. Who knows?
He does.
Did you ever
And he
watch
doesn't
Kamen
have
Rider?
enough stuff.
He was the one. Like there's 100 Kamen Rider action figures somewhere, like from the.
Kamen Rider.
And
Oh.
that's where I'm at now. Like
Yeah.
That was my thing.
I've gone berserk. Like when I discovered Kamen Rider, it was just like, this is the craziest. Like I already knew
So weird, right?
Ultraman.
It's so weird. I mean, thinking back, so Bugs, right? Bugs
It's-
on bikes.
Well, and then like and the dark storyline. Like right now, I'm actually reading the original manga.
Ooh.
They finally put it out in America, a nice translated volume,
Oh, cool.
and it's dark. I mean, you can tell that it's
Yeah,
made
it's
for
super dark.
kids, but it's still. I mean, and that is something I am watching right now too. I'm going back. That first series is golden because you see, like the first part of it kind of follows the manga, and then it turns into a little more comedic, family friendly. Still, you have this shocker, this evil organization who are out and out just murdering people all over the
Yeah.
place. It's not exactly Power Rangers.
Right.
And then after those 2 games, Presto went on to do Star Trek games. And
Oh, cool.
not a well-known fact, but we were supposed to do the Insurrection game. Remember
Oh, really?
Insurrection, the movie?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
We were in development for it, making assets, but unfortunately we came after the movie and everyone's like, this is gonna be great. It came out like, holy shit, we need to do a different game.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we kept the planet, like the Baku. And so I got to pitch. I came up with like 36 stories. And they're like,
Wow.
you have a story? I'm like,
Wow.
I just hit the Gatling gun. They accepted a story that was a sequel. Do you remember the Parasite in Next Gen?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
the Parasite creature, I don't remember their name. So I made a sequel to that. And that we turned the game into a digital, sort of close to canon story. And made it like a graphic adventure game based off that. So
Cool.
I'm sure it was better than the movie.
I think
Yeah,
I
really.
love
Yes.
Paramount. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna nod.
No, there you go.
or
No,
nod.
he takes no
Radio,
position on this. He's happy with the movie and Paramount.
Love the
lovely
movie.
people.
Great.
Right.
Well,
Love
Eric,
art.
it's clear you're like one of us.
Yes.
You know, you
Yeah,
love
I'm-
the same
Oh, yeah.
type of stuff as we
man.
we do, and so we're thrilled to have you. Why don't you start
Thank
off? Is there something that you're watching that listeners should be aware of? What's the big thing with you right now?
Well, I'm a zombie guy. So
Okay.
Cool.
Me
I
too.
love zombies. And I think we're in a renaissance, especially of
I agree.
zombie stuff from Korea. All of Us Are Dead on Netflix.
There you go.
Is phenomenal. It's pop culture. It's
It's
humanity,
teen drama.
scary zombie.
It's teen
great.
melodrama, but
It's teen, but it works.
but it's
I mean,
okay.
it works.
So
Yeah,
what
I love
Have you
this
guys
is a-
watched it?
No, this is a Korean limited series.
Yeah. It's a
And
series
what
of-
what is the basic premise?
It starts off with a crazy scientist, as usual. And,
Yeah.
and
Those crazy
he accidentally infects
scientists.
his wife and his son bites his bullies, which, so you're kind of rooting for it, that works.
Yeah.
But then
Sure.
I don't want to spoil it, but it quickly spreads, and it's mostly in this high school. And the choreography of how the students are avoiding the zombies and the zombies are going, it's wonderful. And you get this sort of dwindling core of students as they're going up and down stairs and levels and surviving. And then you get glimpses of the outside world, right? As many great stories, it's sort of like you see the peephole, right? Of
Right.
They all
lives.
kind of merge as it goes
And then
along.
and then some of them fall and some of them turn, and then I don't want to spoil, but like there's variants that happen, right? And then all those things sort of come to it.
Is it done? Is it done straight horror? Is it like, or is it comedic, or is it kind of
It's straight and comedic.
really?
There's a little
Okay.
comedy, but
There's some comedy.
It's more and more tragic. Yeah.
Yeah. We've watched all of them, Carrie and I, my wife.
Mhm.
And
Right.
what you might have to get over is I think there might be a cultural thing of just the tone of the show that you might have to get used to, because there are these melodramatic moments. There'll be this kick-ass action. I'm telling you, some of the most, as you said, Eric, some of the most well done choreographed zombie action that you'll ever see, like truly fucking white
The
knuckle
library
exciting.
scene.
The library scene is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
It's magic. Yeah.
It is magic. It's
so good.
magic.
It's crazy how they did that.
It's so good. And you could tell that there was some CGI and stuff used, but you don't, in that scene especially, you don't notice it at all. It looks so good. But then there
I
are
was on my couch, I'm standing up. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, come on.
it is that
Really?
good. It is that good.
Yeah.
But then what will happen is that somebody will get killed, or just there'll be a moment where someone's sharing their soul. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it does tend to go on a bit, where someone makes a long speech about how they're feeling and what's going on, and then the person that they're missing.
It would have benefited from you taking the script balls up a little bit, rewriting
Wait,
it.
no, but Matt, sometimes, when you're telling somebody your feelings and your emotions, sometimes that does take a while.
Larry, I agree with you. And I'm telling you that it's not something that pulled me out of it. It's something that I noticed, and I felt like it was a cultural thing. I think that maybe it was a style of drama or melodrama that maybe is a Korean thing. I don't know for sure, but it felt that way to me, at least. I don't know. I've never watched a Twilight movie all the way through, so I don't know how many long speeches they make, but
there's a lot of speeches.
Okay, well, there you go. Maybe that's what it really is forget about the cultural thing. Maybe it's just teen drama.
Yeah.
But
I think they made a point not to forget the team drama. They were definitely working that in. The love triangles. This lady likes this girl, and this girl.
Yeah,
likes
there's a
that
lot.
boy.
Yeah, it's totally love stinks.
Unrequited love. Yeah. They really crammed a lot of those teenage issues, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah, oh yes, and there is a brilliant bully who is a major character who is so likable in his unlikableness.
It's funny, guys, because a while back, Matt, I think you had brought up, Larry, you should check out Train to Busan. And then that was kind of, but it started this thing. And now I've been hearing, it's like, Korea's like, they're making all this great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think they must really have zombies there. There's probably zombies there.
In real life.
I say fucking dead. Can I say fucking? Is that already?
Oh, no, you can swear.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
There are
Eric,
zombies like a motherfucker in Korea.
but Eric, this program, All of Us Are Dead. You're saying that it's just as good, or it's a series.
Different.
That's like what's better, peanut butter chocolate? I mean, sometimes.
It's like that. It's like apples and oranges kind of a thing.
Okay, look, if the teenage thing bothers you, Train to Busan, I think it's unfiltered zombie virus. It is so good. It is the high mark. I mean, I love Romero. I love all the others. I love all zombie movies.
Yep,
28
me
Days
too.
Later, amazing. 28 Days Later for me was the new standard. Train to Busan's better.
100%.
By miles.
One of the greatest, I think it's one of the greatest zombie movies ever made. And I also think that it was Oscar worthy.
Yeah, I agree. If there was a pop culture Oscar, which there should be, it would get that. It was so good.
Got everything there.
Yeah.
I mean, characters and the
Great effects. Talk about the zombie, the way the zombies attack, hordes of zombies attacking on the train.
Oh,
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, they do a great job. They do the classic sacrifice, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a character you really love. He's great. And when they do those moves, they brilliantly build that character arc up.
They set up very well.
And your heart rips out, and you're left.
Yes.
Yeah. You know the scene I'm talking about, Matt. Right?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And again, confined spaces, right? A moving, it's a train. It's compacted. They do eventually get out to other spaces.
It's like the Cassandra Crossing. It's like the Cassandra Crossing meets Dawn of the Dead.
I just watched that too.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
I like that movie.
Which is sort of a mess. But it's a fun mess.
It's so enjoyable.
A fun mess.
Yeah, like at the time, like when you watch it, like no, but like now you watch it, it's dated in a great way.
And the train crash thing.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But James didn't like it because it felt too Adam McKay-ish or something. I don't know.
James, what's your issue? What's your issue?
With Cassandra Crossing?
I like Cassandra Crossing. It's got a great Jerry Goldsmith score. It's got an amazing cast.
You ever seen this movie, Eric? You ever seen this movie?
The Cassandra Crossing. Richard Harris, Sophia Loren, Martin Sheen, O.J. Simpson, like everybody.
What?
Virus loose on a train.
Yeah. And it's like they have to decide, so they're quarantined the train, like the train can't stop anywhere because they have to figure out what to do with it. It's great. Yeah. It's fun. It was like in the heyday of the disaster movies, what do we do with the train?
But James, did you not like the train? Or the
no. The disaster part. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but the train crash in Cassandra Crossing is pretty damn sloppy. I mean, that's kind of pathetic.
But that's why it's enjoyable.
It's like for a guy who likes Godzilla movies, you got the child in you has died.
No. It didn't hinder my enjoyment of it because now I can enjoy it. I can appreciate it.
Yeah, for back then,
sort of laugh at it.
They spent all the money on that cast.
Yes, they did. It's true.
Sophia Loren's salary took the right. That took the cost.
And I love the fucking train thing. But hey, Eric, you had another one you were going to bring up, another zombie one.
Well, Kingdom. I mean, if you're going along with Kingdom, the other Korean zombie movie.
It's just called Kingdom.
I've always heard about that. I've not seen that.
I have not seen this.
It's kind of a movie about hats Koreans wear, and then there's sometimes zombies show up. It's all hats. They have these outlandish hats.
Wow.
You've seen them? The costume is spectacular. But just Google it, and you'll see. I mean, the soldiers show up, and they're like witches' hats, and and they all have different outlandish with lots of flair. The costumes are wild.
I'm there.
And in this era, in this region, they did wear very colorful, cool hats. Because the costumes alone are great, but this is more feral. But it's I don't remember. It's 17 or 1800s. It's more horses and medieval, right?
Right.
I love horses.
Or before technology, and there's a slight amount of mysticism, and it's just really, really cool, unique.
And Eric, is this a series or just a film?
It's another series. Yeah, it's episodic.
Oh, it's a series. Okay.
And where can we see that, Eric?
I believe Netflix. I don't have stock in Netflix. I just want to say.
No. It's fine.
Now there's a lot of good stuff on Netflix.
No, there's a lot of good stuff, and there's stuff everywhere. So this is something I wasn't aware of.
Have you watched Black Summer?
Yes,
That's super good.
Like
What's that?
too.
I enjoy that a lot.
Matt, what is Black Summer?
I'm surprised how much I like that.
What is Black
like
Summer?
Black Summer is a
Remember that?
zombie show that is supposed to be, I guess it's kind of supposed to be a prequel to Z Nation, right? That
Yeah.
show?
That's right.
But it
So,
doesn't
yeah.
it doesn't feel anything like that show. It feels much darker, and it's the plot line is really you're seeing almost from a kind of found footage point of view the beginning of a zombie apocalypse, and then following and seeing all the tendrils of disaster and misery that it causes through all these different characters. And Jamie King, she's the lead, and then you follow her, but you also follow a bunch of other characters who are really
They weave them all in.
What's
they
that?
weave them all in. They weave them all in
In a
They
really
cross each
clever
other's
way,
paths.
in a seamless
very
way,
good.
I think.
Yeah,
But it does what The Walking Dead couldn't do, which is make you
I agree
feel
with
like you are experiencing the end of the world, and that how
Yeah.
dangerous everything is, because it's also fast zombies, which I love. And
Fast zombies is
these zombies
very bad,
are
right.
scary as fuck, and they
They're
are
very-
after you. And it's interesting too, because eventually they figure out that you have to shoot it in the head. But
Right.
what they work in, though, what you kind of get to understand is that it's different trying to shoot a zombie that's shambling
Yeah.
as opposed to a zombie that's running at you.
Right.
Right.
And that's freaky and great in and of itself. But that's great. They've done 2 seasons. There's talk of doing a 3rd, but I love that show. And I keep going back to that. That's a great one.
You know,
Wow,
and
that's true.
on Netflix also, I think if those other movies are a little too heavy, like The Big Steak, if you want like a light appetizer, Santa Clarita Diet is another zombie. Like that's just a comedy.
I never got into that.
Yeah, I've heard not great things about that.
Yeah, you didn't like it?
No, I haven't seen it, but I heard not great things.
The
comedy
comedy is the problem that I had with it.
And
But
is
I
the
didn't-
Santa
Air quotes.
the Santa Clarita Diet though that has the star. What's her name?
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
But Timothy Oliphant is,
Well, I love in
I
everything.
like that guy.
No, he's great in
Yeah,
everything.
he's great.
But
it's not-
it follows like
It's a housewife that becomes a zombie, but she hides it. She keeps her intelligence. She's got to eat people once in a while. And it's funny.
Uh-huh.
And the husband loves the wife and goes along with it. And they pick bad people to eat. Basically.
Okay.
It's like, I'm just saying, look at this genre and say, oh, look at all the, like
Yeah.
stretch it into. You can go like full blown, Black Summer. You can go Train to Busan, and then you can go comedy.
well.
Like it's a genre that can go all over the place.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Eric. I mean, this came out last year, but what you say about the genre of the zombies and stuff, we actually had, Army of the Dead. I know how people have various views of that and stuff, but what I thought was so cool was not too long ago, Matt, I know, but not too long ago on the Academy Awards, that film was actually acknowledged as as a popular film.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
The heist movie, right?
Yeah. And it takes place in Las Vegas. And I thought what was really cool is within like the whole opening of it, within the first 10 minutes, it kind of explains the whole synopsis of the story it's like how the zombies came about. And I thought that was really well done. And I know Matt's not a fan, but I thought it was really cool. Well, I did. And I
walked out.
Well,
of my living room.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it, and I watched it with my wife and my daughter. We sat there. We were totally engaged in. But
Zombies
the point is
for the whole family.
Look. But I know. Look, the point that I'm trying to bring up, Matt, is that the zombie. It's like, look, we've been surrounded by zombies, and here are all these different ways that these zombie movies are coming out, or zombie series. Yeah. And I really thought, guys, after The Walking Dead first came out, I was a big fan. We talked about this in the past and how I stuck with it. And then certain things happened where it just fizzled for me. Yeah. But here you've had filmmakers were able to breathe new life into the whole zombie world. So I applaud that.
Wasn't the Army of the Dead Zack Snyder?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like his sequel to Dawn of the Dead, to his version of Dawn of the Dead.
Not really.
No.
Because it's a madcap, hilarious adventure.
Well,
It's,
he says
with ridiculous characters who are all cookie cutter archetypes.
See, what do you mean cookie
piece of
cutter
shit.
character? No, it was fun. It was neat. It was interesting, and I was engaged. Well, it was really,
Watch a
really
better
good.
movie. Don't watch that.
No, I enjoyed that.
Which movie was it? There was also a sequel to Train to Busan, which was pretty similar plot. You know what I'm talking about, Eric, right?
Yes.
It's not great, but
no, it wasn't as good as the first one for sure.
No, yeah, but it is basically a bunch of people going into a zombie infested area for monetary reasons.
That's right, the Peninsula one, right?
Yeah.
It's Peninsula.
Okay, so look, listeners, if you are a zombie aficionado and are an expert, perhaps Army of the Dead is not for you because, like Matt, it's like, poo, I don't like this because it's not sophisticated enough. But for that regular Joe out there, think regular Joe filmmaker, I think you would enjoy it.
All right, okay. Hey, what? All right. Wow. So, what about you other guys? What do you like? What are you watching?
Or what are you watching?
I have a show. My wife and I finished watching limited series that actually, Matt, you turned us on to. Really good show. I think it was only like about 6 or 8 episodes, called Midnight Mass.
Oh yeah.
This is a really unique show, and I don't really want to say really too much about it because it will give it away. But let's just say that it's a horror story that involves a very familiar horror genre trope or horror genre type of monster in a completely unique way.
I agree.
And incredibly well acted and smart and incredible. It's basically this very isolated island town, has this very small group of people living there, very conservative, religious people living in this town. And they have like a kind of an elderly priest who has been away, and he's been away for a long time and what really happened to him. And they find out then this new priest comes into town to take over his place. It's played by Hamish Linklater. And he's great, so genius. And he basically comes in to say, hey, the other father, he's not well, or he's going to come back soon, but for now I'm taking over. And, the other people are a little suspicious of him at first, and but he eventually starts winning over everybody. But then, meanwhile, there's something else on the island. We don't know quite what it is. Yeah. Something flying around, lurking around. And meanwhile, these series of like small little kind of what you would call miracles started happening. And this is in a very religious town. So it's like, oh my gosh, this priest is showing us the way. This is our time now. All our, issues we've had in our lives, this priest is going to show us the way. And there's more and more amazing kind of miraculous things start happening, but then people also start dying. And it's really well done. And it's a super smart show because it really, one of the few genre shows or that I've seen that really gets into the argument of like faith versus science.
Yeah.
There are great conversations and great points made of both sides of if you're a super devout, pious person, God is showing me the path, I'm in God's hands, versus that's bullshit, science is the way. And they're both kind of in there. And it is just really, and I like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but it's a slow burn show, but it's super compelling. So you have Hamish Linklater, Zach Gilford, Kate Siegel, Samantha Sloyan, Annabeth Gish, Henry Thomas is in it. Everybody, and everybody is just like they're characters. You're not watching these act. They are just the characters. Mm-hmm. Again, it's just so well done and absolutely worth checking out. I think it's Netflix. I think
so. I'm not sure.
I think so, yeah. But just look up Midnight Mass. It is created by Mike Flanagan. Now, I know he did the show that you watched, Matt, that I never saw that you said wasn't as good, was the Hill House, The Haunting of Hill House.
I hated that.
Yeah, he did that show too, and a couple other genre things, but then this came out. It's kind of a perfect show to me. It really
it's great. Here's the thing. With that show, I would say that there's some little clunky moments here and there. The thing that really brings it together is absolutely the performances. Like the
Yes.
performances are just brilliant.
So real. Yeah.
Yes. There are some kind of preachy speeches sometimes,
A little bit,
but they're interesting. But they're
Yeah,
interesting and
yeah.
they go on for a while. But
Yeah, you're right. It's a little indulgent, but it's fascinating to listen to.
yeah, right. What they're talking about is actually written pretty well. And so
Yes. Yeah.
I would say for whatever flaws you'll find in it, and there are a couple that you'll go, well, what about that? And, you know, I might not be able to argue with you about them. But overall, this tapestry that it creates and all these characters, and especially some of the heavies, the villains are so good.
So good. So, and like, again, I can't want to give it away, but you'd think of like the tropes of horror movies, like a werewolf or a zombie, and again, what this particular show deals with, the type of monster, is really neat because you don't know right away what is going on or what it is even. But in a way, it's a really kind of simple premise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The way it unfolds, you don't know. It's a whole mystery that it's really good. So definitely check it out, Midnight Mass.
And Sean,
Super
you
fun.
said it's only like 6 or 7 episodes or something?
I think it's 6 or 8 episodes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Which is just right. Again, that's what I like about, how we talked about how in some ways it's the golden age of genre stuff in TV as opposed to movies.
Yeah.
Right.
These mini series, that's a really good way to do these things because, as opposed to doing, 20 episode seasons and over and over, and like it gets old, but it can really work well when you do have a limited number of hours to tell a story. It's not a movie, but it's not a super long series either. It's kind of, it's done just right.
You guys remember waiting a week for an episode? Yes.
I know. Yeah.
Well, in some cases, we still
How far we've come.
Yeah.
How far we've come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right,
true,
James. Sometimes they slowly release them, or sometimes they dump them. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good
check
one.
that out. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, James, break our hearts. What do you got?
Have you heard
This
of
is
this?
Columbo.
Have you heard of this British independent film called All My Friends Hate Me?
No.
It actually was released about a year ago and it came out in film festivals. Now it's on, I guess you can get it on Amazon Prime. You don't really know going in what it is. You're not sure if it's going to be a comedy or drama. It turns out it's a suspense thriller. It's about a young man who's going to a mansion in the countryside of England to celebrate his birthday with a lot of his old friends from college. And they have, unbeknownst to him, they've invited a new guy that they met at the local pub. Uh-oh. And this new guy, there's something sort of off about him, and there's something kind of
there always is.
There's something. All this guy's friends love this new guy, but he's automatically turned off by him because the guy is sort of hostile, and he seems like he's gaslighting him a little bit. And it quickly turns into this sort of nightmarish experience for the birthday boy, who's there to have a weekend of fun, and it turns out to be a paranoid nightmare for him because little by little, even his old friends are saying little things that are kind of, backhanded and a little bit mistrustful, a little bit hostile. And this escalates to a point where I was reminded a little bit of Straw Dogs and Midsommar.
Oh, cool.
Not that this is on the caliber of those movies, but it did get under my skin to that effect. And it's so well done because it's really about friends. It's about all of these friends who are supposedly well-meaning, but as soon as you start getting these feelings of insecurity, and then it gets under your skin and it starts to prey on you and snowball.
Yeah.
And it captures that perfectly. And I won't spoil it or give away the ending or anything, but it escalates to a point, and it's got a final scene which is so pitch perfect that it made me love it even more. So,
great.
Wow. Really?
It's called All My Friends Hate Me. It doesn't have any names in it, but it's terrifically well acted and definitely worth checking out.
Is there jealousy and bitterness in the film?
Only by the guy who's paranoid. That's the thing. It's like you can completely relate to him. He's played by an actor named Tom Storton, who is one of the co-writers of the film. He's very empathetic that you really, really feel for this guy. And you can step into his shoes because he's totally like, the everyman.
The regular Joe.
Just the regular Joe, and he just wants to have a good time for his birthday, and it turns into this nightmare for him. So yeah, anyway, it's called All My Friends Hate Me, and it's worth checking out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I hate like hey, we met this guy at the bar. Like, oh nope. Turn him around. I don't totally throws off the dynamic. And you're wondering half the time, like, why doesn't this guy just leave his own birthday party? Because he's having a miserable time. Oh, fuck
to say the least. And you just know it's going to get worse and worse. So it's a lot of fun.
Sounds like the feel good movie of the year.
Check it out.
Hey, you know what we should talk about? We've all seen this, right? Spider-Man.
I was going to say the big bug in the room.
The big, right? The bug. What is it?
Spider-Man.
20,000 pound bug in the room.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Spider-Man. No Way Home. Oh my God. Oh my God. I you know what? I didn't know what to expect. I did not know what to expect, but I know, you guys are all, hey, Tom Holland, he's my new favorite Spider-Man. And, I went in there not knowing what was going to happen. And I loved it. And
did we all see it?
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
I have strong opinions about this movie.
Well, see, now I think we might be on the same wavelength here because
are you kidding me?
Now, wait a minute.
Are you kidding?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But with reservations. Absolutely.
Can we just say in a nutshell for listeners, if you haven't seen the film,
Well, I don't think we're going to give any. Probably everybody on the planet has seen it though at this point. So
there could be some spoilers coming up.
It could be some spoilers.
Just spoilers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I do think that if you haven't seen it, if you're a Spider-Man fan, I think you should go out and see it. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that everyone in the world knows who Spider-Man is now. And, Peter Parker's all, boy, I wish people just didn't know who I was. And so
because it piggybacks off the last movie with Mysterio, who sets him up and makes it look like he killed Mysterio,
right?
Which is not the truth. But at the same time, his secret identity is exposed.
I mean, that's basically the big point. And so what do you do if you want to change something? Well, his good buddy, Doctor Strange is just down the street. Maybe Doctor Strange can help and kind of change some things. Yeah. And that's where things go a little funky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of that grown man sending Peter Parker to therapy, he destroys time.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric, come on now. He knows about the mystic world.
I love the reasoning. We've done this a couple times. We've done the spell before. Should be fine. We're just going to make everyone in the world forget.
Well, it is a comic book.
A light and out of resistance, and then he just does this.
Just because your friends don't get into MIT. You have to change time?
Yes, I know.
Thank you.
I agree. I totally agree.
At least Doctor Strange comments on that though in the movie a couple times. It's a superhero comic book movie, guys.
When is Doctor Strange going to become the Sorcerer Supreme? Because he doesn't seem to be very good at it in the movies that I've seen.
But if things went swimmingly, then there would be no story. So of course he comes up with a dumb idea and it goes haywire.
It's phony drama.
It's not phony drama.
Any other franchise, I'd say but I agree that's a little silly, but I went with it.
There's also
I went with it too.
I mean,
but I wish it wasn't there.
Yeah,
look, guys,
it should have been stronger. It should not only have been. It should not only have been the aftermath of what happened with Mysterio and everybody now knowing who Peter Parker is, not just inconveniencing Aunt May and Happy and his friends, but making it a lot more dire than that. The stakes had to be a lot higher for Parker to go to Doctor Strange and say, listen, this is life and death. You have to do this for me.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's too trivial.
See, here's where you guys are just off the beaten path here. Okay, let's say you guys know how to make pancakes, and you know how to make pancakes really well. And someone, hey Matt, boy, I really like those pancakes that you make, but I know it's so difficult. And you go, I could throw that pancake together in no time. Look, he goes to Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange knows how to do these things. It's not like, I'm not sure how to do this. So yes, he does.
He doesn't seem to know how to do that.
No, he does. Remember,
Peter, didn't we just come from Thanos doing all this shit? And that whole problem?
Did. Yes.
Now you want to fuck with reality again?
No, it's just a little thing, man. It's just reality. What do you think's going to happen? Oh, Thanos is going to come back.
What do I think is going to happen?
No.
Doesn't happen in the movie.
No, well, but my point is like, it's not like Thanos. No, it's a very simple thing that is being asked of him. Okay, and if you're used to making pancakes, if you're able to alter time on a regular basis, you shouldn't have any problem with that. And I didn't have any problem with that. In fact, I embraced it. Yes.
Larry, I tell you, I've made pancakes once before, and I'm still a little shaky on the whole pancake thing, but I'll give it a try.
No, that's not what he says.
Well, that's basically it, though, isn't it?
No, he knows how to do it. He knows how to alter the time. He knows it. Look, okay, so the only people who are going to know are so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Okay, fine. And
then they throw in the dumb comedy. They throw in the dumb comedy, as usual, of Peter Parker going, oh, wait a minute, there's one more thing.
That was funny. I laughed.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I laughed.
The minute that happens, doesn't Doctor Strange go, oh, look, you know what? This was a bad idea. I'll tell you what, let's shut this fucking thing down for today. Go home, figure out what you want, come back tomorrow. We don't have to do this today.
He's right in the middle of it. The whole thing is spinning around. No, it's not nonsense. That's like me saying,
I hope you never become the Sorcerer Supreme.
Write down
just really quick.
Us all.
It's like you're right in the middle of making the pancake and you're about to add your secret sauce or whatever. And I go, oh, Matt, can you add this other thing? And you're all, I got to hurry before the pancake gets, too burnt or crisp. So I'm just saying, I would be a good wizard. I would be a good wizard.
Oh my
yes, I would.
God, help us all. Okay.
Just
Shawn
don't make
Sheridan.
pancakes for me.
Doctor Strange is a monkey paw. He's a monkey paw.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah.
He's a bit of a monkey paw in this one, right?
So how about this then? Okay, so we got that moment, but then here's the one that really gets me. And again, spoiler alert.
But spoiler alert.
Now because
spoiler.
That's the hard part about this movie is that there are so many fun things back to back with something terrible. Yeah. And usually the fun things win for me. I loved seeing all the old Spider-Man villains come back. That was great. I loved it.
That was and they all look great.
To be honest, that's kind of the point of the whole movie. And
it is.
I mean, look, I know what you're about to say, man. I do kind of agree with you at this other point, but I don't know if any other franchise would have had the power or money or influence to get all those performers back into one movie. Yeah. Think of the negotiating and the contracts and the money to get just one of them back.
Right. Why not write it a little better then?
The cast is an amazing cast.
Yeah, yes. I'm saying like that. Like to me, like if they didn't get every one of them, they had to either get all of them or none of them.
Agreed, Sean.
What I would have liked was to have seen Paul Giamatti come back as Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2, so he could have had a sideways reunion with Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman.
See, I never actually saw the second Spider-Man because the first one sucked so bad.
Right.
But
and then they have wine together. That would be great.
But also they not only did they bring them back, they didn't change their look. They made everything they kept it all even. In other words, they kept it consistent even from all the other franchises and studios. Now, the thing is, I don't know if you'll see that again, like that kind of coup that they did
won't.
that.
No.
And
that's
so,
what's a shame.
But I know it's still a superhero movie, and you're not going to get Shakespeare.
No. I don't.
I understand that it's not the best script.
I love you, Sean, and I respect you.
Needing another pass on the script, I understand.
But you cannot just say it's a superhero movie because superhero stories are great. They can be done so well. They don't have to be this.
Of course.
And that's,
I know.
To me, it's just, I'll bet there was one too many passes on the script.
Well, yeah. Think,
and
of
just
course,
lazy
how many
plotting.
how many writers and producers were involved in making that thing out? What came out at all was any good? I'm just saying that in these days of corporate-run franchises, MCU still, for the most part, batting average is pretty damn good.
I completely agree.
Spider-Man No Way Home is not a perfect movie by a long shot, but I enjoyed it way more than a lot of the other recent MCU stuff. I certainly enjoyed it more than the Eternals. I enjoyed it more than the crappy Hawkeye show. So
I haven't watched that either.
And Spider-Man, and seeing those three actors together, worked so
that's fun.
well.
That stuff's fun.
Yes, I know there are plot issues. I absolutely agree, but it's not going to take. I still would see the movie again. It's that kind of movie where I enjoy it a lot.
Eric,
yes, sir.
Eric,
yes, sir.
Peter Parker bringing his worst villains, his worst enemies. Hey, let's go to my aunt's place. Horrible. What could possibly go wrong?
I agree. That's a little ridiculous.
Wait, no.
If you were ever that stupid as a kid, then I mean, he's supposed to be a genius.
No, because you were a jaded teen. That's why. He has good in his heart, and he believed that, I want to bring. No, it's not bullshit. It's
bullshit.
like, no, because you don't understand, because you weren't that kind of person.
No, but Larry, when you're watching,
you kill us all.
When you're watching this scene where Strange is trying to talk him out of trying to rehabilitate these villains, Strange is trying to talk him into sending them back, and Parker's defying him, saying no. Aren't you talking back to Peter Parker saying, dude, that's a stupid idea. Don't do it.
I was screaming at the screen. What are you doing?
Shocker himself is basically saying, hey, I'm still a criminal. So come on. I mean, come on. It's nonsense.
Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about that. It's like, I know what you're saying, Matt. You're saying, hey, if it was me, it's like I would throw them back. But what I loved about Peter Parker, Tom Holland, was he just had this feeling inside of him. That's his character flaw, that he really felt that he could do something. He had the technology. I'm just saying. Look, okay, who amongst us hasn't tried to do something good and you end up killing someone? Okay,
I just hope in the movie.
That part of the movie really stressed me out, and I would have preferred if he said, "You're right. Let's just set them all back." The movie ends 25 minutes early. We all get a phone records and have a nice meal. That's what I would have been a little less stressful.
I just hope in an alternate reality, Aunt May comes back, because Marissa Tomei is the hottest aunt I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she can never not be hot.
I know.
It hurts. It hurts.
Do a quick vibe check in terms of the best Spider-Man movie. Can we all agree it's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2?
No, not 2.
No.
I was gonna go
into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is probably the best overall Spider-Man movie.
That is the best one, yes. But live action.
I'm talking about the train scene, right?
No,
that's great.
It's a great scene, but there, talk about plot flaws in that fucking movie.
I don't know. The Sam Raimi,
the first one is much better.
Well, Sam Raimi isn't Sam Raimi doing the next Doctor Strange movie Into the Multiverse of Madness?
Right.
Yes, and
hopefully it'll be much darker. But hopefully it'll have less plot problems.
Well, here's something that's really cool that we could all feel good about. What's interesting is, I didn't know this, but Sam Raimi was not the first choice for the second Doctor Strange film. And when Sam,
M. Night Shyamalan?
No. But the point I'm trying to make is, when Sam Raimi was brought in, Sam Raimi thought to himself, now wait a minute. The superhero world has changed a little bit. It's a little bit different. Should I hold back? And Kevin Feige had a talk with him and said, don't hold back Sam Raimi. Sam, I want you to be Sam Raimi. Give us what Sam Raimi would do. Okay. And so my expectations are very high. The preview looks amazing. It looks creepy. What's really cool is I've heard various things about how, look, it's more horror-like. And
well, it looks like this phase with like Morbius and Moon Knight, and they're going to look, I think, for a darker thing, which is cool. I mean, I mean, speaking of which, I've only seen the first episode, but Moon Knight.
I enjoyed it.
that was
Yeah.
cool because that was more like a horror mystery.
That's pretty fun.
And,
Yeah.
and it was well acted, no cheesy comedy. I mean, the comedy was natural
Organic.
comedy that worked
Organic.
for the character.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac is great.
He's great.
Ethan Hawke is creepy as this like cult leader guy, and that comic I always loved the look of Moon Knight, the character in the comics, and I'm excited about this show. Like
Me too.
That so far, that was a great pilot.
A great pilot. Yeah.
And I hope that keeps going.
Have you seen the second episode?
No, I think it came out yesterday, right? I have not seen it yet.
No, I've seen it. I all I'd say is I prefer the pilot, but it's still good.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
It holds up.
I think
Well, coming from
it's
you,
like 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, real quickly, I don't want to like bag on Moon Knight or anything, but just going back to Eric.
you're gonna
and
bag on
Sam
Moon
Raimi.
Knight.
No, I'm not. I wanted to go back to Eric really quickly. People forget, Eric, that Sam Raimi gave us that Tobey Maguire, that's first Spider-Man.
Before the MCU.
Before the MCU. And I would say, and I remember the feelings that I had. It had, the whole Twin Towers, 9/11 had happened. And there was this whole thing about that film, when you get to the ending and the sweeping panoramic views of New York and how Spider-Man is up on the building and you see the American flag, which was all added. And it's like, it's such a great film. And I would say that if Sam Raimi did not do a great job, we wouldn't have had all the other stuff.
Right?
No, exactly.
Because up until that point, the original, the Christopher Reeve Superman was kind of like that high point of like, but that movie, but then technology has improved by then. So by the time Raimi's Spider-Man came out, it was like, okay, we can actually now envision a live action superhero movie all the way. Like it works. And of course MCU now has done that. And now we think nothing of it. But it's true that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man really was a game changer.
I really enjoy the extra work in that too.
Oh yes, my wife and I are extras in one scene.
And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember correctly, you and your lovely wife went down to be extras in the film, and the AD actually told the cast, all the extras, now whatever you do, don't look directly in the camera. And during the actual scene that you can pause, it's like everyone's looking one way, but you are actually looking directly at the camera. Is that true?
You're right.
He's a diva. He's come on.
No, I was looking at the Green Goblin. We were running from the Green Goblin, and I had to make sure I was protecting my wife. I was like, "Wait, let me look." Hey, that's why.
Hey, you know what? You gotta just let him shine.
Love it.
So listeners, if you have that film on Blu-ray or something, you have to pause and you'll see Shawn Sheridan there.
Print it,
you send it to us. Well, we'll have Shawn sign it.
One other quick point, about that, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's movies, I didn't really like.
They're terrible. I didn't see a second.
But I thought in No Way Home, he was great.
Yeah, he was.
As an actor,
he was good. Yes.
Yeah.
What he did in that movie, and recently, if you see Tick, Tick, Boom, which is not horror based, it's a musical, but he has really grown as an actor. He's fantastic. He was great in No Way. He was my favorite characters in No Way Home, and he was really good. So was Tobey Maguire. Like I said, and that was also kind of a risk too, because you didn't know if those three actors together would have the right chemistry, but they really did.
Oh my God!
That was kind of this kismet that worked.
It's nice to see Tobey Maguire again. It feels like he disappeared for a long time.
Yeah.
I like Garfield as an actor, and I sort of like him as a personality. I never thought he was a good Peter Parker because I thought he was too pretty. I thought Peter Parker was supposed to be a little plainer, kind of a nerdy,
right.
Yeah.
But regardless of its flaws, I still enjoy it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree with you that the entire vehicle of the movie, the whole point was to get them together. The whole storyline was just, let's get all the Spider-Mans together.
Where was Nicholas Hammond?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Right.
Now,
they even threw a Venom in there at the end.
Well, wait.
Nice.
No, wait. For listeners, Matt, you want to say who Nicholas Hammond
was? He was the 70s TV show Peter Parker.
Yeah. They should put the Japanese Spider-Man in there.
Oh, that would have been great. Cool. All of a sudden, the robot comes walking through this.
You
ever see that, Eric? You ever see that show? The Japanese Spider-Man?
Oh my God, it's like Voltron meets Spider-Man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I got to see that.
Oh, yeah.
That should have been the end credit sequence of like that Spider-Man shows up.
I do have to say that the film has proven to be a huge success.
Yeah, of course.
From I mean, huge blockbuster. It has made more money than any other film, including Avengers Endgame, which blows me away. That is just crazy.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how. I'm really hoping the next Doctor Strange movie is good.
Well,
I'm sure it'll be hilarious.
I'm sure
Doctor Strange is a laugh riot. So,
I think the plot is someone forgot their keys. And then they go to Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I forgot my keys at the house. What can you do?
Right.
He's like, tell you what, the dinosaurs are going to live now. We're just going to rip everything up. And you got your keys.
Eric.
Go back in time and uncreate.
I missed the bus. Can you go back in time?
See, okay, we're all kind of poking fun and making jokes.
I used to have a joke. I used to have a joke in my head about like I would be the worst person in the world to have a time machine because I wouldn't be I wouldn't be doing anything important. It would have been like
saving Lincoln from being assassinated or something.
Oh shit! I burned the English muffin. History.
See, you wouldn't go back in time and go to like the local toy store and pick up some, vintage.
That's what
robots.
You would do, Larry. Instead of saving mankind.
And somehow,
just make sure you had all your Mego figures mint and card.
Yeah, and you come back and it'd be a nuclear wasteland.
Now, what's wrong with that, Sean? Who am I hurting?
Wait, do I go back and keep JFK alive, or do I go back and get that mint and card Captain America at the department store?
See, now you have to say something like that, and it's like, look,
why do you hate Kennedy?
Why
do you want Kennedy to stay dead?
What can one person do, really? What, I'm going to be up in the book depository building and push someone, or
you heard it here, folks. Larry Strauss killed Kennedy.
I'm just saying that if I had the opportunity to go back in time and pick up some toys, I would do that. I actually, Sean, I actually wrote a list. I wrote a list down. If
you would go back.
I did. Like 1978. I know exactly where I would go.
We don't have time for this. It's not the title. The topic is what we're watching, not what we would get if we went back in time.
You're
That'd
right.
Be a great movie. That'd be a great episode for it.
Okay, look, guys, I apologize for getting off topic.
You can call it the Doctor Strange effect.
Okay, look, this is great. I normally school you guys on this. I apologize. So please, Eric, is there anything else that you're watching?
What else? Yeah.
Oof.
Really?
Or would you like to talk about the Spider-Man
show?
Would you like to talk about Spider-Man a little more?
Make up something. Come on.
90 Day Fiance. My wife.
No! Oh, please don't go there.
I think I know.
Please don't go there.
Show, but
Sometimes you have to put a little time into the relationship.
Oh no!
It's kind of a thriller.
No, I can't. I can't.
How about Picard? I've seen a little Picard. You guys watched that?
I haven't watched the second season.
Yeah.
Well, it's
the first one was like it might as well have been a 2-episode, version of the show. Like,
and what's weird is you hear that's like, oh, we're gonna bring some people back from the old Star Trek show to kind of help liven things up a little bit, and then Guinan shows up, and it's like, really, is it really necessary? And I don't know.
It's a big snooze.
Aren't all those shows you still on a pay thing, right? You still have to pay for Paramount Plus, right? I think that's the main. That's really the main reason for us right now. There's just so many other things to watch, and like start paying for shows to watch. Like, I'm gonna wait.
Sean, you bring up something. I was gonna say my big issue is for years and years I was a strong supporter of Star Trek, and I would watch, and I would watch with commercials and everything, and I was that fan, and then I feel betrayed somehow that we're gonna screw Larry Strothe because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this new series and we're gonna charge him for it. And I'm like, and I felt betrayed a little bit. So
if there weren't, like I said, if there weren't so many other things to watch for free, I eventually I will get to those, but like, it's just,
But
wait a minute.
Eric wanted
With
to say
all
something.
the money,
Larry.
with all the money
Yes.
that you made for killing Kennedy, you would think you'd have a little extra money.
Okay, Eric wanted to tell me something. Eric.
I just want to ask you what your favorite Star Trek episode of all time is.
Oh, gee.
Oh,
across
wow.
across any series.
Well,
Wow.
honestly,
any series.
honestly,
Any series.
it would be classic Star Trek. I think Balance of Terror. I think.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, that's a great one.
Terror? Is your favorite original episode?
Well, that and Arena. Those are like two that I love. I love.
It's a great episode, but like better than City on the Edge of Forever.
That's great. I mean, that's the thing. I'd say there's like 5 or 6.
So let's talk about this really quick. James, just bear with me, okay?
So jump in anytime.
No, because James knows a lot about Star Trek.
Does,
but just really quick.
Me too.
City on the Edge of Forever is a wonderful episode,
Yes,
but
it is.
growing up as a kid, I mean, I really was engaged with number one with Arena. First of all, if you recall,
super fun episode.
But Sean, it's more than that. It's more than that. And what I've tried to explain to people is there's a sequence when Kirk and McCoy and Spock, they go to this planet, they see it's destroyed. Ooh, Kirk is pissed off. He's mad. And then we know hey, there's another spaceship trying to leave. Let's go get it. And then as they're trying to get closer to it, there's this moment where the spaceship slowly slows down and Kirk says, we got him. And he's got this really angry or like revenge thing. Okay, get off phasers. And there's this really intense moment. And then, of course, things change for him. And then he has to think about when he's thrown on this planet to battle the Gorn, it's more than just, I need to try to fight to survive. There's more that he's thinking about. So it's like, there's a lot of things that are going on in that episode.
Hands down, that is a great episode. Based on it's always like up in the air about whether it was actually based on the Frederick Brown story.
Right, because
the short story.
They also did a version of it before that on the Outer Limits.
That's right.
Ooh.
Although I think they even deny, like the stuff that I've read is like it goes back and forth of whether it was actually, but it's clear that it was.
Yeah, at least loosely, it's the premise, right?
But,
there's many episoms.
Speaking of the Gorn, though, and I think we were talking about this pre-show about the Gorn.
Yeah.
Gorn.
Back.
Yeah, we're going to thanks to Doctor Strange, we're able to go back to the pre-show conversation. And that we were talking about the Gorn and how slow he moves.
Yes,
and
they were.
If you watch the show, which I think is a really underrated show, and even I underrated it until I watched them all, but Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise. There's a mirror universe episode where there's a Gorn in it, and he's fast. And
is that the one? I think I remember. Is that CGI though? Isn't it?
It's CGI, but I give him credit for trying.
I like for trying, but again, unfortunately, it's when you get to that early CGI.
That's true. I'm not going to argue.
I'm saying, look at it now. Like I recently, I agree. Terrible, and that's the problem. Like, put him in a fucking suit again.
I agree.
Just do that. Keep the same script. Put him in a fucking suit because
we don't want to turn it into the Century, though. From
Eric, Eric, what I'd love to see is it would be so cool to go to the Gorn planet and see how their system of government and spaces
True, yeah.
There was a comic I think they did that was pretty good that had the Gorn.
Really? Yeah, that's cool. It does seem to be still a rather underused species from the canon.
I agree.
I would love to see it. So there, Eric.
And now you can do it right.
Yes.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
You could.
Exactly.
Why? So what is your favorite episode, sir?
Oh, glad you asked. Next Generation, The Inner Light.
Oh, that's a great. Oh, that's a wonderful episode.
Is that the one where Picard lives the entire life?
Yes.
That's my wife's favorite episode as well.
It's
that
flute, the little flute.
Yeah.
It's certainly in my top 5.
That is a great episode.
I mean, like that is where science fiction gets elevated to fine art. Like that is. I agree. I'll put that up against Nabokov. I'll put that up against any other short story. Yeah. And by the way, the orchestral, the music in that. I mean, it was just kick ass. I mean, the entire production value and Picard, like, he's so good.
Actually, Eric, could you just tell our listeners, give us a quick little synopsis because this is something,
It is, they come across a probe. They're going through space as like a distress signal. They go check it out. That's a probe that's in mid-space. And Picard goes and checks it out. It zaps him. It picks him and he knocks out. And for like, I think it's hours in their time. But what happens is the probe completely transmits an entire history of the memories of this planet and a full life of this person. So we see Picard become this person, have kids,
live on the planet.
He fights it at first.
He has an entire life.
Dying. Yeah. Their sun is going like supernova, and there's radiation. And we, through the hour-long episode, we get snippets of this person's life, and he's the scientist, kind of like Kal-El's dad, right? That's kind of knows this is happening. Like, and he's the one that comes up with the way to save the species, and there's no saving it. We're just going to send a memory of it, so we're not forgotten.
Right. And so that he has the memory of this lost civilization.
Talking about it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's where science fiction becomes art. Like there's those moments. There's a lot of them, but that particular one was like, I'll put that up against any classic literature.
I agree.
Ever.
Yeah, it's really good.
No, that's a
great one. Certainly, Next Generation. That's one of the best ones ever of the whole series.
Yeah, that series, unfortunately, was uneven.
Very.
But when it was good, it was great.
Yeah, Deja Vu is another great episode.
Oh yeah.
What's the one where Beverly Crusher is like stuck in a reality that is slowly deteriorating, and she doesn't know that she's.
Oh. Yeah,
I can't even remember exactly, but it's trippy and great. It's like she's in kind of like a coma or something too, where she thinks she's on the Enterprise interacting with everybody, and they have to keep her that way because if she realizes that she's not, she's going to die. Like it's crazy.
What about the one where we go into Data's dreams?
It's called Remember Me.
Yeah,
Remember Me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's this one where
a lot of great ones.
They go into Data starts having these dreams, and he eats a cake. He gets a slice of cake that's Deanna Troi. And I just
I remember that one.
And I love that one because
that episode you're just talking about was written by Lee Sheldon, who taught me game design.
Is that right? Really?
Wow.
Oh, give him my best.
I will.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I love that one. I like that a plot point is revealed through a dream of an android.
Right.
I love that one. My favorite show as a whole of all of them, and I always put the original series in a different place because it was the first one, and it's hard to compare things because to get that show even on the air, the original Star Trek was just an amazing thing. But I love Deep Space Nine, as these guys know.
Yep.
And one of the characters that I've really come to love is Quark, the Ferengi barkeeper. When the Ferengi were originally introduced in Star Trek, it was a flop. They were ridiculous and stupid, and nobody liked them.
They were. You're right. Yeah. They're like the conniving con men.
Yeah, and it was just one-dimensional. And then it took Deep Space Nine to add layers to them. And then you've got Quark, who Armin Shimmerman is just a natural when it comes to understated comedy. And there's an episode called The House of Quark where he accidentally kills a Klingon because the Klingon's really drunk and he won't pay his tab. And this is one I just recently watched. So there's a tussle and the Klingon falls on his own knife. And so it looks like Quark killed this Klingon, which is a big deal. And of course, Quark is talking it up like, he's this badass. And to cut to the chase, what happens is that this Klingon's wife shows up and she confronts him. And it turns out that there's some intricacies involved with who's going to take control of their house, the Klingon house. And it's kind of unusual that a woman would be the next one in line, but she wants to control her own house. And one of the ways she sees to do this, and it's almost a desperate act, is to marry the guy who killed her husband, who is Quark. So Quark marries a Klingon who just initially despises him, but he's so charming and he's smart, and he comes at this whole problem with the rights of the house and like a businessman's way. and is able to, provide her something that maybe the Klingon culture doesn't really do too often. And it's so much fun. It's funny. And the Klingon woman who he ends up marrying, her name is Grilka, and she's played by Mary Kay Adams. And she's just so charming. And they ended up bringing her back in a kind of a follow-up episode that was also pretty fun. But, and then you've got, Robert O'Reilly as Gowron in it. And I always love him. And it's just fun. Guy. It's just fun. And I just love what they did with the Ferengi. They redeemed them.
Right. That's what's cool when they can do that.
I wouldn't say that's my favorite episode of Star Trek, but it's one of those ones where when they attempt to do comedy, they usually were pretty good at it. Like the Tribble episode that they did, Trials and Tribulations.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Was also very successful.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Sure. Have you guys seen the Lower Decks animated show?
I saw
not
one
yet,
and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I have to watch that.
Yeah, I saw the first one.
Animated. Yeah, it's really great. I'm a huge fan of the original animated cartoon.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
I love that. Yeah.
So Eric, what is the lower decks about?
It's kind of the support crew of the least important ship of the fleet. So it's the
night shift almost.
The night shift. Yeah. So it's just charming, right?
I think isn't it by created or co-created by the guy who did Rick and Morty, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is. I think so. I thought I had read that he's somehow involved. Yeah.
But that's a great show if you guys can watch.
Okay, cool.
I assume you also like the Orville.
I did actually. I did. There's some funny bits in that. It was different. Yeah, I did like that. How about you?
I still have to watch.
I also like it because it feels more like Star Trek, like as opposed to these shows like Discovery. And
clearly he loved Star Trek, and clearly he wanted to kind of explore some different avenues of it. It was an homage to it. That it was great.
Hey, what do you guys think of? Have you watched? I just started. Carrie and I both started watching this because of all the hoopla about it, and I watched the pilot, and I wasn't that into it, but then I heard all these great reviews, and the show I'm talking about is The Expanse.
Oh yeah,
Gina, my wife, watches that. She loves that show.
I'm now 4 episodes in, and I think it's really good.
Ooh. Yeah.
Cool. And they're doing a new season, right? I think they're doing a couple seasons.
What are they up to, like 6 or something now?
I think so. Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that show is really all about future tensions with, like, you have like the Earth and the Moon are one faction. Then you've got Mars. They've got a colony, and that's another faction. And then you've got like these outer people that they call like the Belters. And they're a loose alliance of planets. And so there's like political struggles between everybody. And it's always kind of tense. And it seems like there's someone who's there's another faction or a hidden faction that is trying to start a war, it seems. And, you're left to figure out like, well, what is actually going on? And so you've got all these different political figures, and then you have the leftovers of the crew of this ship called the Canterbury. Their ship is destroyed by what they think is Mars, but then maybe it's not. And so that story is interesting. But then there's a B story that involves this space station that's built into the asteroid Ceres, and a Belter detective played by Thomas Jane. And he's trying to figure out what happened to the daughter of this important person. And she's kind of gone rogue and now is like a revolutionary. And so he's on her trail. And Thomas Jane brings a lot of charisma to the role. When I watch him, I think he would have made a really good Deckard. He's got that sort of feel about him. The guy who's rough and tumble, but he also has a moral center. And I love him. The main guy on the Canterbury, who's the executive officer, his character's name is James Holden, but it's played by Stephen Strait. And that's what put me off when I first watched the show, was his character. I thought was a little too forced. And yeah, but now I'm growing to like him okay. He's still not my favorite character of the show, but it looks great. The design is wonderful. It's really well acted. Sometimes it reminds me of if Babylon 5 had more money.
Right.
Do you watch the show, Eric?
I do not. And I you can take my card, my nerd card. I'm sorry.
No, I can't.
No,
It took me all
no.
this time. It took me all this time to
It's
start.
on my list to watch. I did buy my father, he got me into sci-fi, and he has a closet that Matt and make it just drool. I mean, he's got originals from the 50s, and so I bought him the thick book of The Expanse, and he's devouring it. He loves it.
Yeah, they're based on novels, by the way. Yeah.
They're novels, and I'm debating reading the books first. So that's why I've been kind of holding off for a while.
Right.
So
It might help to read the books because
I'm not going to bullshit you. I've heard great things. I have not read it.
The
So
problem that I
hard to get
have
there.
with it sometimes is that it's one of those shows that just drops you into this universe. So there's a lot of nomenclature. There's a lot of things that you're supposed to just understand what they are. References are made to these things.
Right.
And it's a lot of stuff thrown at you before you really know what any of this is. So it's a lot of catch up as you're watching it. Like, who are they? What?
Right.
You know.
But again, in fairness, Eric, I mean, if you think about it, in the early 60s, okay, let's say you had classic Star Trek, Lost in Space, there might have been two, 3 things out there. And now in this day and age, as Sean has said, how it's like nerds kind of rule the world in the sense that we've created so much great content, science fiction, fantasy, horror, superheroes. There's so much now. It's hard. It's hard to seriously. I've heard something that, Larry, you got to check this out. It's really cool, but I don't have time.
There's so many shows that literally that people bring up. I've never heard of that. And it sounds really good. And I know it's crazy, but I guess it's a good problem to have, though. It's like,
well, that's true. And then Sean, when we do episodes where we talk about things that maybe lesser known films, or cult movies,
obscure stuff. Yeah.
Sean will bring up a bunch of things. And it's like, I've never heard of this. And it sounds great.
Yeah.
And just throw that on the list because
totally.
We need more hours in the day.
Absolutely.
Has anybody seen the Atom Project on Netflix?
I did see that.
No.
Ryan Reynolds?
Tell us about that, James.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. Ryan Reynolds goes back in time to meet his former self as a child. A really talented kid actor named Walker Scobell.
He's a genius. That kid is brilliant.
The kid is great. The kid is the main reason to watch the movie. And there's essentially he needs to go back in time because their parents, Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo was a scientist who effectively invented time travel. But his business partner, played by Catherine Keener, her motives are evil. So she creates a dystopian future. So Ryan Reynolds is part of this, and Zoe Saldana is his girlfriend, and she's part of this dystopian future too. So he has to travel back in order to sort of change the past with his childhood self.
Okay.
Matt, am I doing justice to this? Is this basically
absolutely? I think you're doing a great job, and I do think that it's a way better reason to go back in time and change things
instead of getting toys. I mean,
no, I wasn't thinking of toys, but no. Yeah, it's a little more important than the toys.
Couldn't you, if you were going to change history? Okay, you're going to do that, but you can go to your local Gemco or a toy store just really quickly just to pick up a couple things.
You might
What's
fuck
wrong
with
that?
Sure,
but it's okay. I'll accept a future where that's allowed.
Okay. Are you saying that if I go back in time and I see there's a Creature from the Black Lagoon toy and I go, oh, there's only one, I'm going to take that. And that was the toy that a young Jacques Cousteau was going to get and put him on his path for underwater stuff.
True,
but now, since there is no creature, he goes, oh, there's no creature. I guess I'll get into meat packing or something like that.
I don't know what that accent is, but okay. Sure.
That was my French accent.
Well, like any time travel story, there's always going to be, attention paid to the butterfly effect and how, the risks of that. It's discussed. Yeah, it's paid homage to. But it's just basically fun. You see Ryan Reynolds talking to. It's just fun. Reynolds is good in it. The kid is amazing. And
there's some genuinely funny dialogue in that movie.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud, funny dialogue.
Yeah. Okay. It's worth a look.
And so this one, James, is called the
Adam Project.
The Adam Project. And this is where can I see this?
Netflix. Yeah.
But see, when I look at that dystopian future, I think of like, okay, here comes Larry going into the Gemco. He wanted to buy that creature figure.
Yeah.
But it's not there. He gets pissed off. And he finds somebody else that has it, but they want a bunch of money for it now. So he goes to his Cuban masters and gets the money.
Wait, where do you get
you kill Kennedy?
You killed Kennedy.
Okay. See, you guys, first of all, if I went back in time, again, I'm sorry, Sean, just really quickly. If I go back in time and the creature toy isn't there, I'm not going to get all pissed off. I'll go to another store. I'll just find another store.
And it's not there.
Well, then I go to
another why, Larry, because the other version of you already went to that store and got it before you.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of you through time just like stealing all the creature from Black Lagoon figures.
Oh my God. Oh,
and meanwhile, there's Fidel in Home Appliances.
Why do you bring that up?
Going, come here, little boy.
I'm not Cuban.
I've got a job for you.
You don't have to be Cuban.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I want to go back in time.
It's already.
Can I go back? Can I go back in time so you don't have to listen to this conversation?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. All right, Mr. Important. What do you got?
Okay, here's one. I don't know if I can recommend this movie, but I did enjoy it.
Oh, great. Okay.
This is the James principle.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
It is so bonkers and ridiculous, but you are wondering through the movie what the hell is going on. This is from a couple years ago. It's called Malignant from James Wan.
Oh yeah, I heard this was. Some people said it was okay. Or
yeah, I don't even know. You can't really say much without giving it away. But like James Wan made all the Conjuring movies and all that,
right,
but it's not in that same. It's not part of that.
It's
universe.
Different, right? It's something else.
It is. It's horror. I guess you'd call it a horror action mystery. Annabelle Wallace is this woman who is tormented by these horrible kind of dreams or hallucinations about these horrible murders. And suddenly these things are really happening. People around her that she knows are getting killed. She has this weird history with like a troubled birth, and she may have a sister. And I don't want to explain much more than that, but it is, when you find out what is really going on, you either you probably will still laugh out loud and just go with it, or you will say this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
It is very unique. I definitely would never have thought of it though. When you find out what it is.
All right.
Think of it that way.
I'm intrigued.
It's kind of genius in its ridiculousness, and it's kind of fun though. I mean, I don't know. That's all I'm going to say.
This is a Shawn Sheridan pick.
Malignant. Yeah.
Malignant.
Yeah. It's I say check it out.
And where can we see this, Sean?
It's wherever, anywhere. I mean, just rent it. It's a couple years ago it came out. Yeah. It's certainly more enjoyable than like the last Conjuring movie or the last Annabelle, like all those. Like this is more enjoyable, I'd say, than that, because it's at least they're trying something different.
All right.
So yeah.
How about Peacemaker? You guys watching that?
Oh my gosh.
I have not yet.
No.
I really enjoyed the latest Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. Laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud funny.
The movie or the series?
The series.
Yeah.
Is it on the same? Is it kind of the same vibe and style?
Absolutely.
Of the movie?
It's
okay, because the movie was
by
James
insane.
Gunn. Okay, because the movie is so outrageous, but really enjoyable.
Like any comedy, does every joke land? No. But when they do, they're great. And there are some wonderful insults. Wouldn't you agree, Eric?
I think it's great. It's hilarious. It's a great series.
Super funny. And it made me realize the actual talent of John Cena.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other stuff, and he seems fine, but his comedic timing is so good. And this character he plays, he's this wild vigilante maniac dude, but he's also got a heart of gold. And the things the terrible, like sexist things that he says to people,
Right.
they usually come from a place of innocence, you know?
But then John Patrick's character,
Oh,
the dad, he's the ultimate racist.
Robert
He's
Patrick.
the word. Robert Patrick. He plays an incredible character. It's so good. It's so good.
The way that they sprinkle him throughout that series, I haven't gone through all of it yet, but each one I really enjoy.
Yeah, I highly recommend that.
Yeah, to check yet another series I gotta check out.
I have an anti-suggestion, like a warning from the future. so you don't have to go to Doctor Strange and change time.
Okay.
Don't watch Finch.
Which one?
With Tom Hanks. Apple TV's Finch.
What's that?
A dystopian show where he's one of the last persons on Earth, and he's saving his dog and making a robot.
With the robot, yeah.
It's awful.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was awful.
It's so bad. It's a bore fest. It's a bore fest.
Is it more? Is it like too schmaltzy or too just like why is it bad?
Forest dump. It's boring.
No.
It's boring.
Did you say forest dump?
I don't know.
That's a great quote.
I like it.
Yeah.
Eric says
It's
it's forest dump.
I didn't think it was terrible. I watched it. I don't think it's genius or anything like that, but I thought it was interesting. I like the robot. I like the
this sounds like
Tom Hanks' performance.
This sounds like Eric sounds like Matt, and Matt sounds like Larry right now.
I know,
Weird.
totally.
I just like the robot. It was cute.
Sean, it's an alternative universe, man.
This is an alternate universe.
I like all of
Academy
you.
Award winner.
Yes, that's what I would say.
All right, look, I'm going to say this. I like all of you. I really appreciate meeting you, but I would risk all your lives and go to Doctor Strange to get those 2 hours back.
That's what a lot of people say.
Interesting.
That's one star.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's fair. And you also have to understand too that I think we saw this during COVID, so I was probably just happy to.
I'm just wondering with that what's the one where he's on the island with the ball? Maybe he just doesn't like acting.
No, he's on the island with the ball.
Maybe he just likes acting alone now.
I think it was called wasn't it? On the Island with the Ball?
Yeah, that was the original title. Yeah.
No, you know what? You know why they call that movie Castaway? Because they threw the cast away. It was just him.
Maybe he can't get along with anybody. It's just CG characters and dogs. I don't know. I'm starting a rumor.
Right.
Did anybody see Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
I still wanted to like it.
After all the wait, all the years, all the other tries, that's what we get.
I know.
Holy shit! What a disappointment!
Crumbs. It's like Crumbs.
Well, also, who decided let's make Goonies meets Ghostbusters? Who decided that's a fucking good idea? Terrible.
I wanted to like it so bad.
Me too. And also it's a ripoff because you get the original cast in the last fucking 10 minutes of the movie. Terrible.
Yeah.
I know that the all-female movie is not great.
It's no Finch.
But it's better than that movie. I enjoyed
really,
that
Sean. Really,
yes, I enjoyed the all-female version of Ghostbusters more than.
I think I might agree with you
because this last one is just disappointing. It's a ripoff.
Yeah.
At least with the female version, they're trying. They're trying.
Sean, do you know what I'd like to know? I don't know if you recall, but the four of us were on a Ghostbusters podcast, if you recall. Right. And I remember joking, you guys have a podcast based on one movie, and they're like, well, there's the animated cartoon, and there's another film, or I said two movies, and there's another film coming out. I wonder how they feel about the latest.
It's funny too, because it's yet another giant franchise that never quite worked. Like Ghostbusters 2 was a disappointment.
It's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like The Matrix too. It's like like Alien, like the Alien franchise.
The Animatrix.
I still have to see that. But it's interesting like that so many of these franchises just don't work. They never capture that lightning in a bottle from the first movie. It's like, I was
and
really
even the first Ghostbusters, first Ghostbusters had some amusing things in it. I never thought it was all that.
Fuck off.
Wait a minute. James,
that is a perfect movie.
You didn't like the original
I said
Ghostbusters?
this- look, when we were guests, it was on the Ghostbusters Cross Rip episode.
Right.
There was that podcast. And I even said on that podcast, I was a big fan of Stripes, which was the last thing that Ivan Reitman did with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis.
Great movie.
And
But Stripes falls
me-
apart. Stripes falls apart when they get to the
the last act is pretty
So that's like
forgettable.
that's half a great movie.
Yeah.
But you
But
can't.
I would agree.
Ghostbusters is effortlessly a
All the way through.
hilarious,
I agree.
perfect movie.
It's a great movie.
Let me ask you this:
I have affection for it, but I don't think it's great.
do you,
Wow.
you
Yeah, but
do
what do
you
you think of all the other
do you
ones?
think Back to
No,
the Future
terrible.
is funnier?
Funnier than Ghostbusters? I think it's about as funny as Ghostbusters.
It's? I think it's more clever. I think maybe in the writing and the plot.
Oh.
But Ghostbusters is just like it's just them, and I mean it just that's the problem is they can't recreate that. Like it just
That's
all kind
true,
of
yeah.
all those like Aykroyd, with his script coming up with that, and the chemistry of them and the effects, which still to this day hold up beautifully.
Yeah, they're
Right.
great.
And like
bad,
it just
right?
all comes together, and it just like I said, they can't recreate that. They never will.
There are so many lines in Ghostbusters that I just think
Yeah.
are
I
just
mean, yeah.
classic.
To me, that movie deserves
Okay,
all the.
so she's a dog. I mean, come on.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Good
that's
stuff.
a great movie.
I have affection for it. Even back when I was
Aye.
19, I think when it came out, I wasn't.
Wow.
You know
I
why? I know why. I know why. It's because
Where's
you're
the-
going through your Woody Allen phase. That's what I think. And no, what? You weren't Mr. Woody Allen fan then? And I mean,
look,
Oh, I see.
Ghostbusters-
I see. It wasn't
Ghostbusters was-
sophisticated comedy enough.
No. I love Stripes. That wasn't sophisticated either. This movie was phenomenally successful. Everybody was wearing the T-shirt. I had the T-shirt. I had the soundtrack. I wanted to love it. I couldn't love it. I thought it's okay. It's a little clunky. Not all the jokes work. I think it's a kind of an uneven mix of the horror and the comedy.
Wow, it's exactly opposite of what I
when
think
the
of that
Stay
movie.
Puft Marshmallow Man appeared, James, you were like,
Are
"Are you kidding?"
I think
I'll never forget being in
How
the
about
audience.
the ESP
and-
test,
Alright.
the telepathy test. That scene where
It's-
when he's
yeah.
testing his mind reading.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
it's gold.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm with you, but okay.
You know, guys, I think that a valuable service that this august body could do would be prevent people from watching shitty things. And I need to know if The Dead Don't Die is good.
I didn't watch
Oh,
it.
I've heard
I
about that. The
didn't see
Dead
it.
Don't Die. Yeah,
The Bill
I heard it
Murray
was-
zombie movie.
I heard it was kind of forced and not so good.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I haven't
good or
seen
bad.
it though.
I'm hearing
sorry.
nobody's seen this fucking thing. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I'm sorry. I wish I could say. I apologize.
I'll bet it's
Going on
not good.
5.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the
Well,
the Darth Sidious guy or whatever from Star Trek or Star Wars. He's Bill Murray.
Star Trek.
What's his name?
Trek Wars.
What kind of nerd are you?
I've had most of this bottle. Is what's happening.
Yes.
Oh, I've had that. Coppola.
No, and I totally understand. Well, you know,
Okay, all
Coppola has scrambled my sci-fi.
well, look, Eric, you have been an absolute delight to
Yes.
have on the
As-
show
as-
this
as
evening.
always.
You've been- I'm so happy that we're able to wrangle you in, and I
Yeah,
really
it's been my
appreciate it. I mean,
pleasure, guys.
what do you guys say? Just do a quick lightning round. Just gonna throw out a few things which you think people should check out. Anyone, just throw it out there. Sean?
All right. Here's one. Here's a couple. This movie, I'm curious, Eric, if you've seen this. It's from 2015. I think one of our listeners may have posted about, and that's how I came across it. Kind of not bad. It's kind of in a way a found footage movie. It's kind of like a fake documentary called Savage Land.
I have not
And
seen that.
it's really interesting. It's this kind of really basically talking head documentary about this tiny town along like the Arizona-Mexico border, and how all the there's only like about 50 or 60 inhabitants in this town disappear, and there's like just some kind of horrible bloody aftermath that occurred, but everybody's missing, but there's blood everywhere, and the only traces of what happened was there was one lone survivor, this Mexican illegal immigrant worker who was also like an amateur photographer, and so they only can go by what happened, figure out the mystery of what happened to all these people by all his kind of a grainy, slightly blurry black and white photographs that he took through this whole thing.
Interesting.
And so it's just like showing photographs. In each photograph, you see some people. What's wrong with these people? There's hordes of them. And I don't want to say any more, but it's pretty interesting. And maybe it could have been a little shorter. Like you kind of get the idea after a while, but it was a fascinating alternate take on like a found footage movie because it's done with still photos.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd say check it out. Savage Land.
Okay.
Another movie I've always liked that just came out recently on Blu-ray from late 60s or early 70s. No Way to Treat a Lady, directed by Jack Smite. It's based on a novel by William Goldman. This is Rod Steiger as a strangler who goes around strangling women by posing in different disguises. And hot on his trail is the Shaggy Dog detective played by George Segal. And he's got this like overbearing Jewish mother played by Eileen Heckart. And and it's kind of that part of the movie is strange and kind of like almost cliched and kind of like another movie. But Rod Steiger's character starts to develop a relationship with George Segal. He'll call him and tell him, taunt him about when his next murder is going to be and stuff. And he kind of wants him to catch him, but he can't. So it's just watching this battle of wits between Rod Steiger as this insane strangler and George Segal as this, detective. And it's great. And Rod Steiger, he'll play like a maintenance worker. He plays different characters to try to get in the confidence of a woman, let them inside their house or apartment. So he's a maintenance worker. He's like a cop, or he's like a gay hairdresser and, coming to show wigs to the women. Okay. So it's like a very dark comedy, but like, it's also kind of gruesome too. And it's got that, that early 70s cynical kind of vibe to it.
I remember it well.
Yeah, and it's Murray Hamilton's in it. Michael Dunn has a small part. Definitely worth check out. It's really fun. No Way to Treat a Lady.
Okay,
cool.
So there you go. Those are mine.
Have you guys seen the show Severance? I watched one episode.
Yeah,
it stars Adam Scott and Patricia Arquette. Adam Scott plays this guy Mark, who is the employee of the Lumen Industries, and he agrees to do this thing called the Severance Program, where at work, he has one set of memories, but when he leaves, he has no memory of what he actually does at work.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And so there's some sort of strange conspiracy involved with this program, and not everything is what it seems. And I only saw the first episode, but I thought it was incredibly engaging.
Sounds interesting.
And and apparently I didn't see him in the episode that I watched, but I guess Christopher Walken shows up and John Turturro. Wow. So it seems like it's going to be a weird ride. And then there was a show called Archive 81, which
the found footage one, right?
Which was the found footage one, and it kind of goes back and forth. There's a guy who was restoring a bunch of damaged video for this mysterious company, and he gets sucked into the trials and tribulations of this grad student named Melody, and she's in the footage, and she's doing this documentary on this apartment building, this strange apartment building that burned down. And what happens is that it kind of messes with, there's a bit of what I guess you could call time travel, or two different time periods interacting with each other. And there's a cult, and the cult is pretty cool. I watched all of them. I'm not entirely sure if the ending was entirely satisfactory. I had a feeling they were thinking of doing another season, but it has been canceled. So there's only this one season. But when you watch it, I think you'll come away going, I think they were planning on doing more. But for whatever you feel about the end, I think there's a lot of compelling stuff in the storytelling of this one season. And then there's one I really got to throw out here. And this is one that was recommended to me by Shawn Sheridan. And I started watching it last night, and I didn't even finish it, but I think it's genius. And it's the 1960 Mexican comedy science fiction movie, Ship of Monsters. The Ship of Monsters.
Wait, now I've heard about this.
I love that movie.
And I started watching it. And so you've got this alien race of women from Venus. All their guys have died off. And so they are now going to all these different planets to try to find males.
Wow.
So the ship of monsters they're not just monsters like a zoo. They're actually males that they're
right. They're males
with the idea
different species.
different species. So they're all different, weird looking monsters. And the monster costumes are, kind of primitive, but at the same time, they're
kind
also
of creepy and weird. Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they're kind of ingenious they do a lot with very little, let's just say.
Yeah, there's like a cyclops. There's one that looks like kind of like the saucer men from the 50s.
Right.
And there's one that's just a skeleton. It's like an animal skeleton.
Yeah.
It's like a puppet. It's oh my God. Yeah.
And so
it's really enjoyable though.
They have been forcibly taken by this female race and they're being held captive on the ship and they obviously resent it. These women, of course, are these hot women. They're kind of like Invasion of the Star Creatures, where they're
yes. Well, the one woman is played by Lorena Velasquez, and she was very popular, beautiful, gorgeous, buxom.
Is she the
Mexican
vampire
star.
or the other one?
I think she's the vampire.
Yeah.
I think
Because one of these women, spoiler alert, turns out to be a vampire.
Right.
There's just so much going on, but then the male lead, who is Eulalio Gonzalez. I don't really know how to pronounce his first name.
Right.
But he is this singing Mexican cowboy.
Yeah, he's a singing cowboy.
And I did not expect this at all from this movie, but some of the writing is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
And then
you got like the subtitled version, right?
Yes. Because there's this whole scene where he's weaving this tall tale of what he just experienced.
Yeah, like he's like this kind of egotistical guy who thinks he's hot shit.
Yeah. But he actually sings. Like there are songs in it.
Yeah.
And he sings. And he's describing this whole story of what happened to him that involved dinosaurs and everyone's making fun of him. And I thought the comedy for the most part was pretty good.
Yeah.
And so
it's a pretty fun movie.
So I just thought that was great. And
Matt, you can there are like vinyl figures of all of those monsters out there. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. They have names like Targ and Gorg or something like that.
You don't have to tell names.
But yeah, that's a fun one though. That's a fun one.
And then I'm just going to finish it up really quickly with, this is not even a genre thing, but I have to tell you to watch. Go to archive.org and download Fernwood 2 Night from 1977.
Oh, yeah.
Fernwood 2 Night spelled the number 2 and then night. They have a pretty good selection, if not all the episodes of Fernwood Tonight that were, I guess, recorded by various people.
Right.
Either on VHS or whatever. But so it's that kind of quality. So the quality's not great, but it's worth it to just watch this show again because it's never been released on DVD.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple episodes that are on the Mary Hartman set.
Right.
But this show is so fucking funny. You got Martin Mull and Fred Willard, and Martin Mull is Barth Gimble, who's this arrogant talk show host who has a dodgy past. And then you got Fred Willard, who is his dumb sidekick. And it's just genius. And they get the local people from the town to be the guests. And it's fantastic. And Bill Kirkenbauer was this guy, Tony Riletti, who's like a really shitty lounge singer who I actually worked with doing stand-up. And then you've got Happy Kind and the Mirth Makers. That's the band. And their leader is Frank Duvall, who I didn't put it together until I did a little research, but I didn't realize that Frank Duvall was Duvall.
Duvall, yeah.
And
he composed a bunch of movies and he did the Brady Bunch.
All kinds of shit. The Brady Bunch theme.
Classic stuff.
He did like the music for Kiss Me Deadly. And, I mean, just like unbelievable, right? And he is so fucking funny. He's like got this sad sack kind of face, you know?
Yeah.
But like he'll do these things where he like does dancing and
he's kind of like Pat Paulson in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
That kind of personality.
Yeah. But like the guys that they get to be the guests, there's a lot of really funny guest stars. Like Jim Varney plays this guy Virgil Sims, and then you got Kenneth Mars as this guy William.
Always great.
WD Bud Prize, who wears this like this thing called chinodonics that's supposed to push his saggy chin back in. It's just fucking great. And so go to archive.org and look up Firma Tonight and just get all of them, because I'm telling you, you will fucking thank me immediately.
Nice.
Okay, I got 3 non-obscure, 3 big titles that I don't think we've talked too much about before. And I recommend only one out of the 3.
Of course.
One of them was nominated for Best Picture, and this was Adam McKay's Don't Look Up. Which is Leonardo DiCaprio as a scientist who's trying to warn the world about an asteroid that's about to crash to Earth. And it's a satire, and it was, to me, really, really obvious and really, really self-satisfied. And Meryl Streep plays the president, and it's all, I mean, it's amusing enough, but it just felt way too self-important. And I was just not, I don't like anything that this director has done.
I disagree, but I think I agree with you on this movie.
The other one is No Time to Die, the last James Bond film.
That's a great film.
Is it any good?
Oh my god!
Yes, it's terrific.
I enjoyed that.
Look,
awesome.
Look.
But James, of course, like you're predisposed to hate anything with him in it.
Well,
there's no way. You're predisposed.
Look,
I haven't seen it, so the jury's out here.
My issue with it, with all the Daniel Craig series from Casino Royale up until this, is that they were meant to stand alone, sort of a reboot, not part of the rest of, not that the series itself had continuity necessarily, but that this wanted to start all over again. And now with No Time to Die, they concluded it. I don't like any of the Daniel Craig Bond movies, and we can go on a different.
What a surprise!
Yeah,
I really like the first one, really, myself.
Oh, I just to me they're all the same movie to me. They're all the same tone. They're all equally disappointing to me. I don't like
James, can I ask you real quick? What would you like to see them do with the Bond franchise? Because you obviously haven't been happy with it since what? I mean, how was the last one you liked?
No. I like Pierce Brosnan. I'm not saying Die Another Day was good, but
what do you think they should do with the franchise, though?
I have the answer to that.
Go.
Make it period again. Make it fun.
Well, I agree. But like, what kind of an actor, not saying what actor, but like, how would you like Bond to be played now?
I've said this before. I like having a little bit of not over the top humor like View to a Kill, but I like having a little bit of, I don't know, a charm. I mean, I don't like Daniel Craig's, what passes for Daniel Craig charm. To me, it's not charm. I just think he's just this sort of stone. If he cracks a little bit of a grin, we're supposed to be grateful for that. If he drives off the Aston Martin and you hear the James Bond theme, we're supposed to be grateful, like they're fucking throwing us crumbs. It's a James Bond movie, for fuck's sake. Give us what we want.
I kind of agree with you, James.
I hated it from the beginning because I never bought him. I never wanted to step into his shoes as Bond. There was never that fantasy projection, that fantasy fulfillment. I want to be him. It's sort of a wink, wink, nod, nod. Yes, I can pretend to be James Bond. I never wanted to be Daniel Craig. End of story. That was it.
I don't know.
Okay.
For me, the fun parts of James Bond were the Q parts, right? Getting the gadgets.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. I mean, then the third title, which is old news now because it's become this phenomenon, but I don't know if we really talked about it that much on the show, but Squid Game, we've all seen it. We all enjoyed it.
I agree.
And,
it's great series all the way through. It kept me interested the whole time. Incredibly well acted. I agree.
Yeah. Another Korean export. And if you haven't seen
Korea's on fire now, man.
Yeah, for sure. You need to see Squid Game because it's awesome.
Cool.
So just a funny thing about that. Have you guys heard of the Mr. Beast on YouTube? You heard of this guy?
No. Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast. He's famous. He's on YouTube and he usually does good deeds, does little contests. He rebuilt and made the Squid Game in real life. All the sets.
Wow. Did he really kill people?
No, but he gave away $460,000 to the winner. Like real.
Wow.
Really?
That's hilarious.
YouTube it. It's millions of views.
Okay.
Like he gets usually what he does, he gets corporate sponsors and then to pay for it, and then he gives away big prizes. Like he's done charitable things, like he's got a bunch of money and cleared out a whole animal shelter, bought all the billboards of a town and got people to clear out, get all these animals adopted. So he's sort of migrated from doing stupid tricks to doing helpful things. But like the Squid Games thing he loved the show. And so he rebuilt it. Like, so everything from the glass shattering, he did it humanely, but like really close to it. Got all these fans and top fans and real people that could win money. And they got to the same sort of moral issues of like, you're in the front, it's the glass bridge,
right?
Do you not go and say, I'm not going to go anymore. You guys go.
Right.
They have to work it out but there's that timer. They'll all lose,
Right.
So that happens in real life. And you're like, there's real money involved. So I highly recommend checking it out.
Okay. No, I'm sold.
Nice.
That whole bridge thing is probably one of the best pieces of tense filmmaking.
So good. Best gags, it really is. It's so great.
I actually quite liked that show. It was riveting. Like
it really was.
A slow start.
Yeah, but I didn't mind that. It did it just the right. It had just the right amount of episodes. Again, it was perfect.
I remember seeing a show that I liked so much where I hated everybody. And then you start liking the guy.
Yeah,
right?
I love shows like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really, for some reason, you get hooked and you stay in. You don't like anybody, but then you start liking a couple of people.
Yeah,
it's really clever the way it builds up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And going back to what I said earlier, Gundam. There's a Gundam show on Netflix. Char's Counterattack on Netflix.
Animated?
Yeah, animated.
Oh wow,
cool.
I like that one.
I have
Blade Runner.
The Blade Runner. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
and a strong comeback from Jared Leto after that Joker.
Oh yeah,
It was tough.
Oh, because
it was the Joker in Suicide Squad. I mean, I do that with air quotes.
Oh right, yeah,
that's true. He was really good as it was cool to see the origin of Wallace.
So it was well done, really well.
Yeah, Blade Runner, Black Orchid. I enjoyed that a lot. That show captured the vibe and feel of the first movie so well. Also, like they did it just right where it was, it was realistic enough with the faces, but not too realistic. And also the fight sequences were so well done. Like, I mean, the movement, but just the environment was so beautiful.
And if we're talking animated, and I'll wrap this up, but also The Boys, Diabolical.
Yeah, what is that, Matt?
Yeah.
Is it is it a separate series animated?
They're just standalone comedic or satirical cartoons that are, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes long or something like that. So far, I've liked all but one episode. I've seen 6. And
do they
you're in, you're out,
Or are they kind of, and because it's animated, so does it kind of look a lot like Derek's Robertson's?
It changes. It's like each episode has a different style of animation.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
So
and I think the new series, the regular new series is coming out soon. Again, 3rd season.
Oh, wow. Great. That show's
June or something. Yeah. But no, I was curious because I didn't know what this Diabolical even was. And then okay, so I have to check that out.
They're a really good time. And like I said, you're in, you're out. And each one has a different vibe to it. And, of course, they all take place in the Boys universe. And,
right.
But there's one that's almost like a Tex Avery thing. And, so they play with the styles. And it's, it's great.
Okay.
And if we're talking about dark superhero, Invincible.
Yeah, no, that was good too. That was great.
Yeah, that's another one I got to see. Yeah.
It's phenomenally.
I enjoyed that very much. Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah. The pilot of that, boy, will that get you like, man, okay. We're going there.
I can't spoil it.
Yeah. I don't want to tell anyone. Yeah.
Idyllic. And then what a hard turn right that is. That is a good show. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good show. I recommend that. Jupiter's Legacy. Don't watch that one. I'm going to save you a Doctor Strange trip. Also canceled on Netflix. So that'll leave you lingering on the season 1.
Oh,
okay. Well,
so
I think we have a lot to get to.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we could go on and on, couldn't we?
Yeah,
yes,
so much.
Easily we'll do more of these.
I mean, because there's all these new things that are constantly coming up, and we're watching all kinds of things. But obviously, you guys have shown that there's so much more that I have to check out. Eric, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Yeah, man, this is awesome.
Fantastic.
What a thrill.
Lots of good recommendations.
We have to have you back too. This was great.
I would love to come back. You guys are awesome. This was fun.
Thanks. Well, now tell us, is there anything that you're working on that our listeners could check out that you've done or something coming up?
Sure. I have a book on Amazon you can check out if you like zombies. I did a take on the zombie genre called Shades, the Gehenna Dilemma. It's basically, the quick synopsis is, if you die and you owe money, the IRS raises you from the dead and you have to pay off your debt as a zombie.
No.
Nice.
And so I came up with a whole society where actually people will sell their afterlife years for money. And then you are raised from the dead and you have to pay off your debts. And so it's a different take. They're not flesh-eating zombies. They're more servants.
Sure.
And like,
That's cool.
they're launching rockets and they're using the zombies to work on the moon and build, the colony and things like that. But the big question is, do you have a soul? People are led to believe that, they're just husks, their bodies, they're left,
right.
Right.
And so as Americans, you think, well, that's just another credit card I can use. I'm sure it's fine. And so that's what the story goes into. Yeah.
That's cool.
That sounds great.
Really cool. Awesome.
Yeah. On Amazon. And I'd love to get you guys copies. I'd love to hear what you think.
Awesome.
I'll take it.
If you got little kids, my day job is I work on Adventure Academy. It's a massively multiplayer game where kids can do games and activities to learn. And so we kind of use game design to help education. And it's a company called Age of Learning that does it. And the project's called Adventure Academy. It's cool. You can download it on any platform you want. So.
Well, awesome.
Nice.
That is great.
For the child in me. And it's probably if it's designed for a child, then it's perfect for me.
Excellent. This has been really fun. I'm a huge fan of the show, and I really appreciate all your time.
Oh my God!
I've got a lot
Thank
to
you.
watch now.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
man. It's
Thanks
been
so
awesome.
much.
The whole queue list just changed.
Well, Eric, thanks again. Hey, guys, what do you say we raise our glasses?
Yes,
huh?
let's raise our glasses to Eric Dallaire
Eric.
and what we're watching.
What we're watching.
Time for a listener shout out.
Shout out. Listener shout out.
I don't know. You can't really hear. Well, you can't see this, but when James does his time for a listener shout out, he scrunches his eyes closed.
I know. Why do I do that?
like a cat sleeping.
Yeah, like you're memorizing it or something.
Yeah, it's delightful.
It's funny. It's funny that I do that. I'm not even aware.
You're just so into it. But anyway, go ahead.
Gentlemen, we have a wonderful new review.
Cool.
Yeah.
New zoo review?
Wow.
Coming right at you. This comes to us from Aki123.
Oh,
right.
Who writes, Ultraman is a superhero.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Dear Monster Party, you lot have put my marriage in jeopardy and have me heading towards divorce court.
Oh, well.
Since after discovering your podcast, I have spent all my time and money buying movies, books, toys, etc. I now spend my time ignoring my spouse and squandering all of our savings.
Oh my God. No. Oh God.
Hearing you guys talk about all the great stuff that I love every other week for the past 8 years has put me down an obsessive path from which I won't return.
But do you want to return?
I know, right? It was
That's
gonna
the
happen
question.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. In all seriousness, Monster Party strikes to the core of everything I love, from horror and sci-fi and fantasy, books and movies and TV shows, toys and collectibles. I soak in all of their expertise knowledge, imparting all of their passion in a fun party atmosphere. It feels like I'm hanging out with the friends I always wish I had.
Aww.
I mean, I do have friends, but not ones who share my love of these things. Your recent episode on Asia Shock Cinema made me so happy. especially when talking about Old Boy and the Park Chan-wook trilogy of revenge films.
Yeah.
Nice.
The banter and repartee with each other make it feel like you're part of the conversation, and I often talk back to my listening device, but that may be my own mental illness. You can clearly tell these are close friends, and you really get to know each one of them, not in a stalkerish way. My wish one day is for Larry to call me a clown in person.
No, come on.
Oh, he will.
No, I'm trying to. That's the
No,
new leaf. That's a new leaf. I'm
you
trying
gotta-
not to
Leaf
be
from
so
8 years ago.
go mean and nasty and try not to do that.
You got to give him a clown. You know, you
Yeah,
You give him a clown, yeah.
do that for our fans.
This is a
Complimentary
lovely. This is a
clown
lovely
comment.
email. Oh, although I just have to, go ahead, James. Please continue.
Okay, I'll
He already
finish
has
this.
notes.
Keep up the great work, guys. Over 200 episodes, and you haven't lost a beat. I look forward to every other Tuesday when a new episode drops into my podcast library.
Yay!
Thank you for that wonderful review.
Oh my
Your,
God,
your,
that was
your,
great.
check, your check is in the mail for
No,
that.
but look, we're not. Look. You know, within reason, buddy. Don't you don't go out and
Within-
spend all your money on stuff, and that relationship that you have is important. You know, but,
Unless
well, look, yeah, look. If that other individual is not into anything and you can't share stuff, well, then maybe the relationship wasn't that great in the first place.
Wow.
But I'm just
Marriage counselor, Larry Strode.
ouch.
But thank you for being so supportive. But you
Yes,
know,
wonderful
just
review.
take it
Thank
easy
you.
about spending the money, buddy. I'm like, you know, I want you to have a roof over
look
your
at
head.
who's talking.
yeah.
Of all the people who be giving that kind of advice.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's putting together a paper mache creature figure using using his wedding license.
Oh man.
Classic.
Well, thank
okay.
you.
Thank
That
you
was
for
that
that.
was
That was a great
wonderful.
review.
That was
Yeah,
wonderful.
That was
Well,
great. No, that was
beautiful. Thank you. We
Well, look,
appreciate it.
I want to say to our good buddy who sent this wonderful email that if you are a fan of Monster Party, I just want to say that, guys, this is the last opportunity you have to vote for us for Best Podcast. I say you go to the Rondo Hatton Awards site and vote for us. Now, I just want to let you know that the last day to vote is Sunday night at midnight, April 17th. It's like tax
Ooh.
day 2022. And guys, what you can do is type in Rondo Hatton Awards. You go to the link. It explains very easily. But just to let you know, you can go to Taraco at AOL.com. That's TARACO at AOL.com. And you guys, you could do something as simple as all you need to do is type in Best Podcast, Monster Party, and then send that in. You have to put your name so you don't think it's like, oh, it's some fantasy thing. You have to put your name. They're not giving out any private information. Every email has to include your name to be counted, and all votes are kept strictly confidential. No personal information will ever be shared with anyone. And you don't have to vote for every category. You can just put us, and that's it.
But I would suggest that you look at the ballot and you look at all the categories, and if there's anything that strikes you, you should vote for other categories, because we have a lot of our friends and past guests
We do.
who are in these categories. And so
We
you'll be
do.
helping them as well.
Indeed. And they've done great work.
Oh
Yes,
my
they
God.
have.
There's so much good work. I think you said this last time, James. When you look at that ballot and you look at all these books and magazines and all these DVDs and things that have come out, it's kind of like, wow, I didn't even know that thing was available or that magazine existed. And so it'll also turn you on to some new things.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, Best Podcast, Monster Party. I mean, the nominees, sure, there's like 29 of us, 29 nominees, but I would love it if we could win this, guys. It would be awesome. So
that would be awesome.
Vote for Monster Party, or the next time you hear me, man, I just may be down the dumps. I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh,
You don't want that.
such a good sportsman.
You have to keep a smile on Larry's face. Vote for Monster Party.
Thank you, James.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If for
you
no
want
other
to avoid,
reason.
yeah, right. If you want to avoid a complete emotional meltdown,
No, look, if we come in second, I'll be fine.
yeah, the next
you know, it's
podcast
so-
after that will be I'm Larry Strode.
No. But it would mean the world to us if you could send in your vote. That would be awesome.
Yes, it would.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a little bit of a shout out here. I would like to, this is a good one too, because not long ago I was on Jimmy Pardo's podcast, which is Never Not Funny. And this is for their Platinum Club. So it's like when you subscribe to his podcast, there are all these tiers. And so this is like the special tier, like a bonus thing, kind of like what we'll do sometimes with Patreon. Mm-hmm. And so I did this episode with them and it was really fun. And we just had a great time. And I hadn't seen him in ages. And, we talked about Kiss and we talked about just all kinds of things. It was fun. And it was truly effortless. And it's just nice when you get together with another comic and, it's like COVID never happened.
Wow.
But so check that out. And then also I have a very special shout out for a very good friend of mine and a fellow Monster Party host. Larry Strothe did something recently that was very special and very kind. And he literally filled a gap in my life.
Oh,
what he did was I have this playset, a Mego playset, a Star Trek Mego playset.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Mission to Gamma 6. And this playset looks like it's kind of modeled after the classic Star Trek episode, The Apple.
Yes.
Right.
And so there's this reptilian looking god cave sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so they did this playset that's pretty rare.
It's rare to find it, boy, I tell you.
And it's especially rare to find it with all the pieces. I was given mine by my friend Ryan Leibowitz, who is the owner of Golden Apple Comics in LA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just out of nowhere. He gives me this thing and he had the box, Larry.
Yeah.
He had the box.
Yeah.
And he had most of the play set, but it was missing some pieces. It was missing the little alien guys. Since then, I got 3 of them. But it did have the hand, the weird sort of plant-like hand glove. You put your hand in this glove, and it's like it's this monstrous plant thing. And that's in great shape, but it was missing the bottom base. And it was missing
the steps.
The steps to this altar. And, I made something that just to kind of prop the thing up so I could display it. But it was always incomplete and out of nowhere. Well, here's what really happened. I was on eBay and I see this thing. I see the steps. And so I talked to my wife about, what if I, was to bid on this? And, we've had a lot of expenditures recently, so we don't want to spend too much on frivolous things. But she's like, well, if you figured out a way to make the money up, okay. But anyway, but I didn't want to bet, or I didn't want to bid too much. And so I bid a little bit, but then I was outbid. And then, I was like over the minimum bid, maybe, I don't know, $6 or $7. And I was like, fuck it, I give up. Oh, well, maybe I'll find it another time. Cut to, I don't know, a couple weeks later, Larry comes over and brings to me the missing steps. He was the other bidder.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
But you knew that, Larry? Or
No.
did you?
He did not
really?
know that. No. And I felt bad. I was like, man, I owe you $7.
No,
but it was such a sweet gesture. And it's, it's an early birthday present. My birthday's coming up, but I mean, oh my God, what a thoughtful birthday present. And it was just, it's like, really, it's a thing that if you're going to get one more item to complete this set, that was the piece.
Yeah.
And-
you had to have it.
It was such a lovely gesture. And we always give each other shit on this show, but these are the kind of friends that I have here. All of you have done something similar in the time that we've known each other. And but anyway, this really made my week. So thank you very much, Larry. And,
you're welcome, Matt.
And if I gave you 3 hugs when you presented this to me,
you did.
If I could give you a virtual one over Zoom, I would do that.
But I want you to know, this may sound very uncharacteristic of me.
Yeah.
But I was thrilled to give that to you. For years, I've seen folks in our studio where we would normally record our programs.
Right.
Matt has this on display, and it always bugged me that it was missing these steps. I knew it. And it bugged me. And I go on eBay on a regular basis to look for various things, and I saw this, and I go, Matt has got to have this. I was determined to get it, and I'm so glad I got it, because now I feel that I know the set may not be 100% complete, but having the steps, it just makes that piece, man.
Oh yeah, no, and that's a
beautiful.
It looks great. I'll put some pictures up, but that was a truly magnificent present. So thank you very much.
It was my pleasure, my friend. My
All right.
And I want to let our listeners know that Monster Party merch is still available on our eBay store, which is called Monster Party Store on eBay. Easy to remember. We have some classic Monster Party glow-in-the-dark logo T-shirts.
We have larges.
We have large.
We have larges.
If you're large, then you're in luck because you can go buy it. We also have the cloth PPE face mask.
Yes, we do.
Which you might think now that you don't need it, but hey,
Oh, you will.
Well, it's honestly, it's just when you think you don't need these things that suddenly they disappear, and you're like, damn, why didn't I buy it when I had the chance? Because once they're gone, they are gone.
Yeah. And if you're, I don't know, if you got a chainsaw and you're cutting up some wood, if you're in the lumber industry, maybe you could use it to put it over your face.
Yeah. Well, sure. And if you don't want people smelling the bourbon on your breath at 11 a.m.,
there you go.
Perfect.
Right. Like my childhood dentist. But that's a whole other story.
If you are a Patreon member, then we will also throw in free goodies, courtesy of Jason Lindsay and Biff Bang Pow Toys and creature creator extraordinaire Ted Haynes.
Two very talented people and very generous people who have donated this stuff to us, and we're passing on the savings to you.
So what's this Patreon all about, Matt? Can you tell us about that?
Well, Patreon is a platform that if you sign up to it, you will have access to bonus stuff, just like what we were talking about with Jimmy Pardo. You will get bonus audio episodes that we've recorded. We have shows, our own produced, I guess you would call them TV shows. There's Larry's Toy Time, where he shows you his wonderful collection. There's a new one of those just out about, it's part 2 of his creature collection. And so very impressive, very
fun
impressive
stuff.
And we also have Monster Party Masterpieces, where you get to see our early cinematic works that we produced. And hopefully Sean and James will get some stuff to us soon. And we can,
yes, we will. We will.
They've got some gold, believe me. You've seen it, and there's some gold there. So So, and then we all have our Japan trip that we have been going out this raw footage from our Japan trip. And it's great. It's just like being in Japan. And so that's wonderful. And then there's the story collections that my stepfather-in-law has been putting together. So a lot of stuff for you to indulge in.
Well, it sounds extravagant. I mean, it doesn't really sound affordable, all this content.
If your dictionary definition of extravagance is $5, then yes, you are correct.
$5. Wait a minute. $5. You can't even get into MIT and $5.
You certainly can't win a lot of money at Squid Game with just $5.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great deal.
It is a great deal. I'm glad that you said that it's a great deal, because it just happens to be a great deal. A great deal of great deals.
Well, how does one sign up for this?
all you got to do, you just go to patreon.com, you go to Monster Party, you click the join button, follow the instructions, and Bob's your uncle, whatever that means.
And hey, another Monsterpalooza is coming up, isn't it, guys?
Yes,
That's right.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah. When is that?
June 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Pasadena Convention Center. And once again, this is after a 3-year wait because they had to cancel the show the last couple of years. Now, finally, it's back. And
Our favorite convention.
Yes, and we are going to have a double-sized booth this time.
Yes.
We're living large now. We're supersizing.
We will have
double your pleasure.
And we're going to have new merch.
Yeah. New merch. Right. Convention exclusives.
That's right. And, of course, whatever's left, we will be then putting on our eBay store. So if you don't make the convention, you'll have a chance to maybe have a little token from that experience.
But make the convention.
But make the convention, damn it.
If you can. Yes, we'd love to see you there. We'd love to talk to our fans.
Yeah, you've heard those episodes. If you come by the booth, we'll chat with you.
Get on the air.
It's fun.
It's like it truly is a party there.
And let's remind our listeners that we are on social media. Yes, we are with it. We are hip like the kids. we are with the times. On the Facebook, we're at Monster Party TV. On YouTube, we're at Monster Party TV. On Twitter, Monster Party HQ, and also Instagram, Monster Party HQ. And hey, wherever you're listening to us, please find a way to write us a review. We would love to hear your thoughts, and we will read it on the air. And in case you've ever written a review and for some reason we overlooked it and didn't read it on the air, please reach out to us, message us directly on social and let us know, and we will make a point of it because we really love your reviews. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to share them.
Yeah, we're usually pretty good about that. But if something slipped through the cracks, I mean, by all means, send an email to James.
Indeed.
Like, wow, Daddy-o. On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Stroth.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong!
And watch what we're watching.
And leave Dr. Strange alone.
I said we've changed the title to Chimney Sweeps Dancing on Roofs.
Wow.
And that's what we're going to talk about. Oh, here we are on the roof. Dancing. Here we go. Here we go.
I smell chocolate balls.
Okay, really? No, I do want to say one thing to you before Shawn gets here.
Now here's Eric DALLAIRE. Should we bring him in on this?
Yeah, sure.
There he is. Eric DALLAIRE. Oh my God. He's connecting his audio. I can't see your face. Is that on purpose? Oh no, there he is. Oh my God.
Hey, what a handsome man.
Look at that fucker, huh?
I tell ya. Oh, and that fan is wild and crazy.
I know.
It's a little hot here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's the weather like?
85. Why is God angry at us? What did he do?
I know he's been angry for quite a while now.
Is he?
I think since the beginning.
No, Eric, I'm gonna put a question to you because I remember reading a book.
By the way, that's Larry. He's my cohort. And there's James over there in the corner.
Hey, Eric.
No, but don't get off the subject really quickly.
Okay, here we go.
There was a planet where this spaceman and this alien were put on, and there was like a barrier between them, and they had to kind of fight each other kind of through the barrier, and that was used as a basis.
5?
What?
Star Trek 5? Star Trek 5?
Well, it was used as a basis for a classic Star Trek episode, but there was a great point. The astronaut said, gee, the temperature here is really hot, but for that alien, the same temperature could be really cold for him.
Well, for the Gorn is basically a lizard, a cold-blooded creature. So a warm environment would aid him. And that does, Vasquez Rocks seems like it is pretty warm if go Matt, most times of the year.
And Matt, would you agree with me? James, bear with me, okay? Would you agree with me that when Kirk is there and he's encountered the Gorn, and it's probably very warm, and the Gorn kind of, when he tries to swing at Kirk, he's really slow. And it's like, that species, how can you possibly survive if you're really slow? It's like, press the destroy button or press the fire button, and you're like, oh, put the...
No, so, it's gravity. It's different on his ship.
Well, but I'm saying is, don't you think that he moves much faster on his ship? And what does his ship look like? I want to see that. I want to see the Gorn ship.
You know how, like, when you go to the aquarium and there's the lizard house or whatever, or you go to the zoo.
Yes.
They have those tanks that got a bunch of like fake kind of grassy things, and there's a little tiny cave in the corner for it to sleep in. Yeah, that's like one of their staterooms.
No, he's an advanced creature. He's an advanced.
And there's a bowl of some weird kibble in the corner, and every once in a while, sometimes they throw in a live rat just to.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So you've got live.
This is the show, Eric.
No, Eric. Really quickly. So you have live rats running all over his ship. That ship can go really fast. It has the capability. It's very equal to the Enterprise. So I don't think they've got rats and little caves. And
they've got their own version of a rat.
The Gorn rat.
Yeah, whatever their planet, the mammals, because the mammals obviously they lost the race in evolution.
Well, that's very interesting.
What do you think, Eric?
Maybe they're just fat. I just think they have fat American flies that are just slower than the Gorn.
Oh, can you imagine?
They have Netflix.
James, what's the weather like in?
Oh Jesus! What the fuck? Who are you? My dad now?
Well, I want to know what the weather's like. I want to know how the world is changing.
Hot enough for you, James?
It's hot. It's hot. It's already in the 90s. Yep.
What time is it there?
In this time zone, it's
you don't have to yell, Matt. He can hear you. He's got headphones.
No. This is how people talk when they get older. They go, "Hey, how about that Golden Girls, huh?" Well, that B. Arthur, man, she's a whole lot of woman.
A handsome woman.
A handsome woman.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. Oh, yeah.
That's what I say.
Hey, I'm going to go down to the malt shop and get a sarsaparilla.
Speaking of sarsaparilla, so Eric, what is your drink of choice this evening?
Yeah, what do you got? What are you drinking?
I thought we were talking movies, so I got Coppola.
Oh,
nice.
For listeners, Eric is holding up a beautiful bottle of Francis Ford Coppola. Is that a Cabernet, sir?
That's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Can I call it?
Nice.
Hey, you know what I have? I have a bottle of King Kong wine.
Oh,
so he wins.
No, because it's funny you say the Coppola. I realize, how like Turner Classic Movies has their have wine with the movies that you're watching, and so they have posters of the various movie stars or things on their wine. So it's like, hey, if you're watching Adam's Rib, try this wine. It has Spencer Tracy on it, and I mean it's nice.
Hey, that Coppola wine, I bet. It's initially cheap, but then with the retakes,
Yeah, it goes on and on for days.
It went over bottle.
Oh,
Who's
man.
the new guy? Oh, my God.
Is that new material for you?
Yeah, a little new material for you. Yeah, just trying it out.
Going out on the road.
Literally going out on the road to sell oranges.
Hey, they need
That's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Hey, we need a new opener at Flappers. There, come on over.
Spare a penny for a broken Captain Sisko figure.
Well, you know what I do, Eric. What I do is it just so happens.
Just in time.
All right. Well,
we're gonna bring Sean in now.
What? You don't want to hear my story?
No, I do. I can't wait.
You don't want to hear my story.
Sean.
Thank God.
He's got to hear this. There's only 7 more members to come, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Shawn Sheridan. Hi, Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
He's the George Harrison of our little band.
Yeah, he's the cool one. He's the strong silent, but not so silent.
Sean silent. Sean is nothing but silent
here. Hey, Sean, thank you for working this whole thing out.
Of course. Hey, Eric, how are you?
And that's Eric. That's Sean. Eric's a great guy. So is Sean. But Larry was going to tell us a story, and then we're going to start the show.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, we were just saying what kind of drinks we have this evening.
Okay.
And it just so happens that the place that I work at, they have a big drinks division. So I have access to plenty of spirits. So
Okay.
I have vodka.
Okay.
And
what else?
Red Bull.
Okay.
So it's got a little crazy mix.
Vodka and Rockstar.
No.
You know what? We're going to stay up all night.
Wow.
James Gonis.
I got vodka and sour apple.
Hey, sour apple. I haven't had that in a while.
Wow. Hey, Sean, remember the days?
Yeah, I know.
The apple martini was the Appleinis. What did Sean use?
Apple martinis. Yeah.
What was that stuff called again? What was it?
Pucker. Yeah, it's pucker. Sour apple pucker and vodka.
For listeners,
you'll
for
enjoy
listeners,
this. Do you want to tell the story?
No, go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was no. We know that's not true. But yeah, when we back in the heyday before we even got this podcast together, we would often go to Sean's place and we would watch weird movies that he would dig up or some TV special, the Telly Savalas TV special or whatever. And he'd make us these apple martinis with the pucker. And
my wife and I, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not just him. It's a 2-person job, but but they took us to a place that was so nice.
Oh, and it was Sean. That was the first time I ever had one of those fancy drinks. It was at your place, and your lovely wife,
fancy.
Your lovely wife Gina came up and she goes, "Here, Larry," and I'm all, "Oh, what's this fancy drink?"
We should have those again. We should do like a sour apple pucker party again.
But see,
for summer.
For listeners, I mean, Matt's talking about years ago, but then when we would go to Comic-Con and we would go to like Sean's hotel room or something, it was like a standard, they would always have that. So we'd watch these funky things that Sean would find. And then his lovely wife would come over and, shake a little drink in our face, go, "Here's your Appellini thing."
But speaking of funky things that I found, Eric DALLAIRE, Eric's an old friend of mine, and we met on the Journeyman Project 2, Buried in Time, and we just hit it off from I don't know how much time we spent in the stuffy, hot recording booth, but it was quality time.
They throw us meat once in a while, and then poke some holes in the studio so we could breathe. And
because there's a lot of laughing, and so we would take up the oxygen. But
I'd write a page, Matt would laugh, crumble it up, rewrite it, and it'd be great.
That was true. Yes, there's a lot of really, yeah. And I would do that thing where I go, "Oh, this is great. Let me file this away."
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Oh, not really.
Matt faxed those pages when faxing was still old.
Oh yeah.
He was faxing pages, and it was all gold. It was great.
Yeah.
I kept everything.
Handwritten, literally.
Yeah,
in crayon.
It was handwritten.
It was a Luddite.
Well,
most of the time we wasted because Jamie just kept laughing. Our audio engineer. I mean,
Jamie, and look, man, what Jamie has gone on to. We got to get him on this show.
Yeah, you should. You get upgraded for me if you want. I'll give him a call. He's
no, Eric. No, we're thrilled to have you here tonight.
I gave them all the information, and we know what you've done.
And so I know what Matt's having to drink. I know what I'm drinking. I know what Eric's drinking, and I know what James is drinking. But I want to know what Sean's drinking tonight.
I am drinking a Stone India Pale Ale with a demon on it.
What's that? Wow! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a sublimely self-righteous black IPA.
We have a tasting room locally here. If you ever come down to San Diego, I'd love to.
Really?
Wow!
Larry, we were at WonderCon, and we hadn't gotten together since the holidays or before the holidays, and so we had all of our Christmas presents to give each other. So we all exchanged gifts, and then Larry gets these gift bags out. And one of the items is Wesley Snipes wine.
Whoa.
And it's a black wine.
Or
Wine?
actually, it's
Oh, I'm sorry.
vodka.
I'm sorry. Vodka.
Vodka.
Excuse me.
It's good
Vodka.
too. Yeah, we tried it as soon as we got home.
Wow.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's special because it's not going to be out there.
Yeah, it was aborted, but the catchphrase should have been, "You can taste the black."
No, I know. It was kind of be like badass, kind of.
Well, it's Daywalker. It's like
always bet
like
on
the Blade.
Right.
No.
All right. God forbid we have a little fun. But yeah, so he gave us a lot of different alcohol. And then he gave us a thing that if you need to pee in your car, you can.
Okay.
It's like a little funnel.
I stand by that thing.
That is a thoughtful gift.
It was a surprise, and it was a delightful surprise because it's the thing that the least thing that you expect to get.
For sure.
Okay.
But then when you get it, you're like, well, hey, this might come in handy someday.
Okay.
I'm using it right now.
See, and that's the beauty of it because, it pulls out, it bends, and you could be driving on the freeway going 65, 70 miles an hour, and you could just open that thing, unzip your pants, and
you're in.
Remove the Johnson.
You're in, huh?
No. But I'm saying, and there are those times. Look, I'm sure listeners can understand. We've all been there. When it's it's like, oh, I can't get off on the side of the road. Either you're stuck in traffic or something. What do I do? And I got to go. Well, this little
I pee
device.
in the next car.
I'm just saying it was really useful.
And gas it.
And I've used it many times.
So this has been great. Can we now go on to the show?
Yes,
Hey,
I think that's a lovely idea.
Matt brought it up, buddy.
Oh, I did. That's right. Are you going to Comic-Con? If they have it?
Oh, cool. We'll hook up at Comic-Con for sure.
Come hang with us.
Sure.
Come hang with us.
Yes, you got to
I
hang.
would love to.
Let's do it.
Yeah, my sister has a condo downtown, so we usually just watch from the.
Hey guys.
Place.
Hey guys, yeah, we know where we're staying now. Huh?
Yeah, we have to get hotels now.
It's funny.
I have to wear a costume, or I'm just accosted. All people recognize me. No,
Totally understand. No,
I know how it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean, Matt, right?
Oh, I'm Swan Arthur. There he is. Yeah.
No.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Well, this was great, and again, thank you for making the time for us. I really appreciate it. And
Sure. Do I send you the address for the residuals, or?
Well, you can. Good luck. There's a lot of paperwork.
I think I'm going to pay you guys.
There you go. Now we're talking.